slant across the middle.
Wow.
Nice one-handed catch. Just carrying defender, staying on his feet is Clutter.
Looks like he's going to get into the end zone.
Stafford at the 10, at the 5, into the end zone. He's got one man to beat, he does. A nice ball there. Here they're going to give the ball right in the middle to a huge hole.
Send him a postcard. He's way out of here.
Hello and welcome into Republic, Pennsylvania for a Week 0 matchup between the Brownsville Falcons and the Bentworth Bearcats. Welcome into the broadcast. I am Danny Beck, and joined alongside me today is Colin Kirkwood. And Colin, the third consecutive year of Week 0 matchups, and here, perfect place to be in Brownsville.
It's a fantastic atmosphere. Everybody's ready for another great season of high school football, and no doubt we've got two great teams looking to get off to a great start this year.
We without a doubt are, and Brownsville coming into this game, they're on a one-game losing streak as they lost their last game of the season.
That's correct, but there's a lot of positives for Brownsville this year as their numbers are up and they are very excited about it. We've heard a lot of chatter as we came in today. People are very excited about this Falcons football team.
And everybody on their line is returning, and there's some big boys out there on the field.
Yeah, it is a large line. We were able to get a close-up on the field look, and they are a massive group of individuals.
They definitely are. And on the other side, Bentworth coming on a one-game winning streak. And they also dropped down a classification in their conference. Now they're in the Tri-County South.
That's correct. They'll be taking on rivals such as California and whatnot, and Carmichael's has moved up into Brownsville's division, so a little bit of change this year if you're not informed.
Yeah, they definitely are. And, you know, the numbers, you mentioned the number size, and Bentworth really small out on the field. Not that many people, and something that we've been used to seeing out of Brownsville.
Classic single-A football, low numbers, high passion.
Without a doubt. And stay tuned as we have CUTV's Game of the Week next, right here on CUTV.
Patriotism. There's a word thrown around a lot. It inspires passionate debate and is worn like a badge of honor, and with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. For a word designed to unite, it can also be pretty divisive. You see, there's more to patriotism than flag sequin onesies and rodeos and quadruple cheeseburgers. Patriotism is love for a country, not just pride in it. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's more than just a huge rock full of animals like cougars and eagles, right? It's the people. Do me a favor. Close your eyes for a second. I want to try something out. Picture the average U.S. citizen. Think about it. How old are they? What's their hair like? How much can they bench? You got one? Okay. So chances are, the person you're picturing right now looks a little different the real average American. There are 319 million U.S. citizens. 51% are female. So first off, the average American is a woman. Cool, huh? Is that what you pictured? 54 million are Latino, 40 million senior citizens, 27 million are disabled, 18 million are Asian. That's more people in the U.S. than play football and baseball combined. 9 million are lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, more than the entire amount of people that live in the state of Virginia. Around 10 million are redhead, 5.1 million play ultimate frisbee, and 3.5 million are Muslim. Triple the number of people currently serving in the United States military. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi, and transgender, and Native American, and proud of it. We know that labels don't devalue us, they help define us, keeping us dialed into our cultures and our beliefs and who we are as Americans. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? I mean, it's stitched into the stars and stripes of this country, from the Constitution to Gettysburg, to our motto, E pluribus unum, from many, one. It's even in our country's name, the United States. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? So let's try this one more time. Close your eyes. Picture the average Joe or Joan or Juan or Jean-Luc. The real people who make America, America. And this year, whenever you feel the urge to don those star-spangled shorts, Set off fireworks the size of my biceps to show love for our country. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Are you a visual storyteller? The Cal Times and CUTV is looking for students with an interest in expanding their skills in photography and videography. We call it visual journalism, and we're here to offer you opportunities to learn how to shoot and edit from a wide range of events at California University of Pennsylvania. Our focus is on local coverage of sports and news events from campus and around the region. We provide on-site training as we help you develop your skills as a visual multimedia storyteller for the Cal Times newspaper and CUTV News Center. To learn more about visual journalism opportunities and join our team, visit our media production facility in the Natali Student Center or email the Cal Times at caltimes@calu.edu.
The Student Association Incorporated, or SAI, has been serving California University's student body since 1937. SAI is owned and operated by the students, which means every student has a voice in the corporation. Over 100 clubs and organizations are funded through student activities fees. These clubs and organizations cover a wide variety of interests from academic, arts, media communications, faith, politics, service, sports, recreation, and much more. If you don't find a club you like, you can start your own by finding 20 like-minded students. The opportunities are endless. The Student Association is directed by a board of directors made up of undergraduate and graduate students, alumni, and retired faculty. In addition to clubs and activities, the Student Association owns 2 areas for recreation that total close to 200 acres, Roadman Park and the SAI Farm. Roadman Park hosts club sports such as men's and women's rugby and the club baseball team. A variety of intramural sports are hosted at Roadman Park as well. The Vulcan tennis team plays its home matches at its facility, and a baseball field serves as home to the club baseball team and a practice field for the varsity team. The SAI Farm offers many different recreation and meeting opportunities. The renovated farmhouse, which dates back to the 1790s, has space for meetings and banquets. A picnic pavilion seats up to 128 people and is equipped with restrooms, playground, horseshoe pits, and volleyball court. Throughout the property is the disc golf course, which was the first course built in Washington County. There is a fitness course around a portion of the cross-country track and nature and hiking trails across the property. If that's not enough, the Student Association owns Vulcan Village housing near Roadman Park, approximately 1 mile from campus. These fully furnished apartments offer private bedrooms with the option of private bathrooms too. These options include 2-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 4-bath, and 4-bed, 2-bath. Housing at Vulcan Village includes all utilities, cable and internet, along with an outdoor saltwater pool, basketball court, and sand volleyball court. Room service dining is also available to the residents. Vulcan Village houses 770 people spread out among 199 apartments, so finding something to do or someone to spend time with is a breeze. The Student Association Incorporated aims to make student life better for all students. Get involved in the various clubs and activities, and make sure to utilize your activities transcript. The activities transcript is a resource to keep track of what you're involved in. This is great to have when applying for jobs and internships to show how involved you are. And this is another awesome tool provided by SAI. Remember, SAI is your student association.
Hello and welcome back into Republic, Pennsylvania for this Week 0 matchup between the Brownsville Falcons and the Bentworth Bearcats. Once again, I am Danny Beck, and joining alongside me today is Colin Kirkwood. And Colin, we're going to be seeing something here today. This is the third consecutive year, as I mentioned in the open, of a Week 0 matchup. And right here is the tail of the tape from last season, what these two teams have coming into this game.
And as you can see, last season for both of these two clubs here might not have went the way that they had planned, 2-8 and 4-6, so a little bit of struggles lead to growth, in my opinion, and I think both of these teams have the ability to work towards common goal and be ultimately better.
And Brownsville going up a classification. They have a strong team this year, returning their entire line and a revamped line even. You know, I was reading off some of these names on this roster. You see, guy, it's 310. He's a sophomore. Guy, it's 315. There's a lot of room to grow, and that's why they're moving up one classification. And Bentworth on the other side, they're 4-6, and they moved down one. So we're going to see how they match up in this new conference.
That's right. And going back to Brownsville, something interesting that we learned before the game is getting underway. We learned that Brownsville will be going with a freshman quarterback this year, so it's important for them to have an experienced line in front of him.
It definitely is. That's one of the things you mentioned, this youth on this team, a lot of room to grow, and with a relatively veteran line in front of him, we're going to be able to see his full potential shine through. And also something new with CUTV this year.
Are eager to place their crest or logo on the side of that helmet. But interesting tidbit about Brownsville as well, going black on black on black today. There's actually uniform error, which was something we learned at the beginning of today. The wrong pants were distributed. They were supposed to go
black look, something that California, the team that we cover the most, the college, you know, they like to do that black on black look, and what it seems like Bentworth will receive in the second half. See there on your screen, Brownsville trying to get their fans pumped up into this contest, and that's something that, you know, they get the crowd behind them in this Week 0 game. It's not a scrimmage anymore. This is for bragging rights, and you got to come into this contest with guns a-blazing, if you will.
And being able to have a crowd on your side, especially out in Western Pennsylvania, there are some rowdy crowds out here. We've heard plenty of loud crowds on Friday nights rocking the bleachers. So getting a crowd behind you is the first step in the plan for success.
It most definitely is. Just a few to mention, you know, Ringgold's student section has got into it quite a bit, especially last season when they played, I believe, Bell Vernon. We were at that contest, and they got into that one big, just as well as Bell Vernon, too. So you see here, Bentworth coming out, we mentioned a little bit before why they might have dropped down a classification is because of the fact that their numbers are low.
They do have a size and population, so perhaps this could be a good move for them that can help them build off that 4-6 record, going up against some classification-sized schools that are better suited towards them.
Without a doubt. And Bentworth, although they have smaller numbers, and they have a little bit more seniority on this team than Brownsville coming out. So, I mean, maybe that will vote in their favor, as this is a non-conference matchup. So both of these teams, first and only time they're really going to be seeing each other this season. Getting ready to kick this one deep is Brownsville. Like we mentioned, it's going to be number 72. I don't really see a lineman. Going to kick that is Edward Victor. So we're going to get this signal underway to start this contest. And one a low driving kick. Easy to field for Bentworth. He fumbles that one. Picks it back up. That's Austin Pastilli. Pastilli finding some holes. Gets his guard ripped down and then finally goes down at just about the 35-yard line. We'll mark it.
Great return there. Good field position to get this first drive of CUTV's high school football game of the week underway here.
This definitely is a great return after almost fumbling the ball a little bit. Found the gaps in Brownsville's coverage and just got up the field, giving his offense some great field position to start this contest.
And you'll have that happen definitely nerves might have played a little bit of a part in that. Everybody's so excited to get the season underway, get that ball in the air and ready to roll. Might not have thought it through the whole way, but nonetheless, they kept the football, and that's all that matters.
We have number 4, Sean Dizak. He is a junior, 6 foot 140 at the helm for this Bearcat offense. And guy to his left is Trent Kavanaugh. One man in motion now for Bentworth. Gets the snap, drops back the line for Brownsville, bursting through. They're going to do a little halfback screen, and it falls incomplete, but that pressure right up the middle, Colin, that'll get in your face.
A lot of pressure from this Brownsville defensive line here, bursting through the trenches and getting after that quarterback.
Expect that pressure to continue, as those guys, even on the defensive side of the football, are pretty big, and they're pretty fast too, Colin.
And it's just a basic building block for success.
And a flag flies out. We're going to see what this call is there on the field. Not sure it was a dead ball foul, so you see they're pointing over in the area of Brownsville, I believe. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Brownsville. It's going to be a first down, so he's starting.
These are things that you do not want to happen with your football team. I know everyone's excited and whatnot and ready to go, but you have to keep the mental aspect of the game in check.
As one guy comes off, number 20 is Javon Dove. And his entire team was kind of looking over at him and saying things, and he pops off the field. So we're going to see Dizak yet again rolling over to his left, throwing the ball down the field, has a guy covered. Right there, that was number 22, Owen Petrusek. Covered good there from Vendell Page.
Just a little bit too much air underneath that pass. A good rollout and able to find his target, look for who he was going for, just ultimately a little too high.
Trying to get this aerial game going. Screen that went from incompletion. 11:42 left here in the first quarter of play. Brownsville defense yet again getting some pressure in the face of the junior quarterback for the Bearcats. 2 to either side for Bentworth. Dizak gets the ball, gives it to Trent Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh trying to find a cavern in that Brownsville defense. And burst forward for about a gain of 2 on the play.
Doesn't have to be the biggest gain of yards. Keeping that football moving, 2 yards works just as good as 20.
It's going to be a 3rd and 8 now. Dove coming back out onto the field for Brownsville. Checked out for just a play. Just getting the point across there if you're head coach for Brownsville. As I mentioned, 3rd and 8 as the Bearcats travel to the football. Dizak gets it, looking left, and he's going to go left. Trent Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh bursting forward along the left sideline, and he's going to push forward for a first down and more. And you said 2 yards as good as 20. On that play, they picked up a gain of 20, pushing them closer to where they want to be, right at the goal line.
Kavanaugh laid the shoulder there, rolling out to his left. He found the space, hit it in stride, and even gained a couple extra yards after contact. You got to love that heart.
Just getting out to the sideline, and not many people hugged that sideline over here, and that's evident right there on that play. Looked like the kicking tee was still out there on the field as head referee throws it over to Brownsville side. Sean Dizak still at quarterback for the Bearcats. Fakes a give to Kavanaugh, looking to throw. Throwing, but it was tipped at the line of scrimmage by big number 63. That is Dylan Lewis, the 6', 245-pounder senior. Just putting his hands up and blocking the ball down.
Active hands on the line there always lead to good things, able to knock that ball down.
Mirroring the play of J.J. Watt in the NFL. Houston Texans. Getting the call from the sideline now for the Bearcats is Sean Dizak. Breaking huddle and coming to the line yet again. 10 minutes and 21 seconds after that incompletion. There's going to be a false start on the play. Number 2, Austin Pastilli, jumping a little early on that play, Colin.
Little bit excited here. Lots of jitters here today in this game so far.
And you expect that early in the season, especially week 0, the first game these teams are suiting up for play. So now they travel back, and Pastilli has that in the back of his mind now. 2 guys wide on either side for Dizak, dropping back, throwing a pass right over in the area. Pastilli coming up big after a error on that last play, and now he brought his team to the 10-yard line right there on the right side of the field.
Great touch on that throw there. He was able to get that right over the head of the defender and drop it into the basket for a nice gain, and now we're heading towards the red zone.
That's Speedy Jr., the return man on the kickoff in the beginning of this contest, coming up big after an error, like I said, with a false start, with 10 minutes and 5 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Ball's actually going to be marked on the 11-yard line. 3 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. Fakes the give to Kavanaugh. Dizak has the football, pushing over to about the 3-yard line, and that's where he's going to be dragged down from Brownsville, but not with anything doing on that play. Pick up a gain of 8 on the play.
Crafty play call there, getting the ball fake and making his way up the right side of the field. Good awareness to hold on to that football.
No question about that, bringing up a 2nd down. Actually going to mark it a gain of 9 on the play, so it's going to be a 2nd and 1. 9 minutes and 20 seconds in counting.
Well, we've got a little bit of time here, Danny. Just take a look at this picturesque Friday night scene here. Great field, well done by the Brownsville crew. Looks fantastic. We commented on that as we were down on field level earlier. It's nice to see this view again.
And we couldn't ask for better weather either. There's some clouds in the sky, but that sun is still out. I believe we're going to have a timeout, so Bentworth and Brownsville go over and get some water. It's a little bit hot today here towards the end of August. Like we said, this is perfect football weather here in late August.
I would say maybe my second favorite kind of football weather. I prefer the October, a little bit of a light jacket kind of thing going on. I really do like it that way, but as you say, definitely ideal as well.
Definitely true. And we mentioned in the first segment, I guess the tail of the tape part, we were talking about Brownsville's uniforms. They have a decal on the back of their helmet for a coach, a former coach that passed away this summer, Donald Bartolomucci. He led Brownsville to the WPIAL finals in, I believe, 1997. And they had a tribute earlier in the game before the game even started. So their players are wearing a decal this season.
Yes, and from what I understand, he was very instrumental in making Brownsville a recognized force in the WPIAL, or WPIAL as they call it out here, as we are 2 PIAA guys here on a Friday night.
Yeah, we're Western PA transports, I guess you could say. Came over here from the bad side of the state, as they like to call it. 2nd and 1. Gives to Trent Kavanaugh, thrown down from Brownsville. And that line coming up big as Kavanaugh was thrown down, a gain of 0 on the play.
Quite a hit laid there as you heard the collective ooh from the crowd in the bleachers.
Speaking of the collective ooh, you might not be able to hear him earlier on in this contest because of some audio issues that we had to deal with. So we apologize for that. Audio is going in and out, but just these kinks we have to work out here in the beginning of the season.
We even have our own version of a preseason as well.
Everybody does, and you can see that in the NFL. A lot of games going on tonight. I know that the New York Giants and the Jets are matching up tonight. As now Dizak gives it over to Kavanaugh, fumbling the ball, but then gathering it into the end zone are the Bentworth Bearcats. They strike first with a score.
Great play there to shovel that ball off and find his way into the end zone. A little bit scary, you know, when the ball floats around like that. You never know what's going to happen to it, but ultimately it worked out for 6 for the Bearcats.
And we were talking about that preseason form, and right there, you got to get those sticky hands. And Dizak just got it, pass it right over to Kavanaugh. A little bit of a flip out to the outside as they strike first. We have number 18, Trevor Richardson, attempting the point after. kick is up and splits the uprights. It is good. So Bentworth strikes first. Down the board, 7-0. Stay tuned for some more Week 0 action right here on CUTV.
High school football is back on CUTV. Brownsville versus Bentworth. Upper Dauphin versus Millersburg. Charleroi versus Fraser. California versus Washington. Belle Vernon versus Greensburg-Salem. Elizabeth Ford versus North Catholic. Carmichaels versus Union. Ringgold versus West Mifflin. Beth Center versus Fraser. Catch all the action on your home for high school football. CUTV, California University Television.
Hello and welcome back into this contest as Bentworth came out of the gates hot, scoring on a 2 or 3 yard run from Trent Kavanaugh to get into the end zone to get this Week 0 game really on its feet. Colin, welcome back into the broadcast. Like I mentioned, Colin Kirkwood, joined alongside by me, Danny Beck. So now Brownsville gets an opportunity to get on offense. Bentworth's kick is back and deep to the arms of the awaiting receiver. That is Austin Linkoski. Linkoski pushing forward. And holding on to that football, that's something that both teams really have to work on, as Linkoski almost got in the middle of that one, and now some flags going out, and a Bentworth player without a helmet even.
Things are getting a little bit scruffy down there, as I do understand these teams are used to being marquee rivals in their former conference together, so no love lost now that they are separating.
No doubt about that, and both of these teams, you know, John a little bit as there was an unsportsmanlike conduct called earlier on. Now it's a personal foul against Brownsville as well. Still first down though, they're just gonna be pushed back a little bit more. They're gonna be starting at the 15-yard line, so Linkoski's progress pushed back just a bit. But we're gonna see this line, Colin, because this line is tall and big. 8 minutes and 9 seconds left. Brownsville starts their first drive of this contest. And now another stoppage of play. Another timeout called by Brownsville, so a little bit of miscommunication on this first drive. Everybody's a little bit flustered. What do you say?
Everybody's just getting back into the groove, if you will, getting used to those fantastic Friday nights. Just can't contain my excitement. You have to love high school football. Purest form of the game.
Exactly that, and you can see the sunset coming in right above us. It stayed away in that first drive almost. It seemed like the sun just started peeking through whenever Brownsville came out onto the field. I think it's a sign, Colin. What do you say?
Could be a sign indeed, maybe of great things to come.
And this crowd, much like the team on the field, dressed in black. So they must have got the memo. The head coach, they didn't get that memo whenever he gave out the white, or the black pants, rather. It was a little bit of a mix-up, as Colin mentioned in our open.
Who knows, if things start to work out well for Brownsville, maybe they'll keep the black-on-black look.
Thanks to Twitter for that, giving an update from Brownsville's football page. So now a little bunch formation, I guess, for Brownsville right now. Hunter Assad at the helm, and he's going to push forward, getting smothered by Bentworth on that play as they try to push to the right side of the field. On the run was Lucas Harn, and that's a name that we called quite a bit last season as well. He is a 5'10", 215-pound senior. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in this first quarter play. Breaking huddle, and Hunter Assad, he's a 5'8", 135-pound freshman, but he has some big guys right in front of him, so he has to be pretty happy about that. Another run from Lucas Harn. Harn finding some space, pushing up the middle of the field. Nobody around him as he's going to push over. He's at the 30-yard line now at the 20-10, slowing down, but he's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. Lucas Harn into the touchdown. As
the crowd comes alive here for these Falcons, You have to love the end zone flip towards the end. A little bit of personal flair put on the end of that explosive run play.
And we said that we talked about him last season. That is why he has big play potential for Brownsville as they answer right back on a run of their own. So we're going to see Brownsville attempting this point after. 7 minutes and 14 seconds left. This first quarter of play. Kick is up and good. So Brownsville on a huge run from Lucas Harn. Get on the board, 7-7. Stay tuned as we have some more electric action right here on CUTV. Hello and welcome back into the bumpin' Republic, Pennsylvania, as Lucas Harn just lit a match under this crowd. And Brownsville getting on the board, 7-7. I say California, quite a bit here today, Colin, but preseason form, that was midseason form from Lucas Harn.
Wouldn't want to even spoil anything, but that almost looks like postseason form here in week 0.
It really does, as now Bentworth gets an opportunity with Owen Petrusek. Petrusek pushing up yet again, staying on his feet, gets spun around, and that is where he's going to be brought down at about the 32-yard line. But that first drive for Bentworth, they move the ball methodically down the field with a little help from an unsportsmanlike conduct play from Brownsville.
Either way, it was a very balanced drive for these Bearcats here, moving the ball on the ground and through the air as well. Very impressed with their passing attack so far.
And Austin Pastiglia, other than that one mistake he made, a little bit of a false start, came in clutch on the very next play with a pass that was right into his breadbasket. And, just helping this team move down the field, especially with the junior quarterback at the head. Two men spread out either side for Dizak. Dizak gives it over to the one side, over to Dylan Farkas, and he's going to be thrown off and then pushed down. It'll be a loss on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 11.
Boy, he sure took a knock right there. I'm not quite sure which Falcon defender came swooping in towards the end of that play, but really laid a smack on the helmet there.
And Dylan Farkas is now on the ground holding his ankle. That's one of the problems with these smaller teams, finding a substitute for him. It's be pretty difficult, as now he's going to be attended to on the field. But, on that play right there, Dylan Farkas, very patient as he received that pass and, just trying to work up the field. As now we're going to look at the Century Conference from last season. See, Washington dominated that with a 13-1 record. But Colin, as we mentioned before, this is a little bit of a change as Bentworth has dropped down and Brownsville has bumped up.
This is an extremely competitive conference. If you're not familiar with WPIAL football, Washington, always fantastic. A renaissance in Charleroi, if you will, as they continue to prove everyone wrong with Gino Pellegrini and look like a fantastic club. Beth Center, always good. Paid a visit to them last year. We'll see them towards the end of the season this year, and I believe we'll see Fraser twice.
Those are fierce rivals in Beth Center and Fraser. So seeing how they, jostle for position in that Century Conference, that's always a heated up matchup between those two teams. But yeah, Washington, they're just one of those powerhouses in the Century Conference as Dylan Farkas comes off of the field, coming off the field on his own power as well. So we're going to see who comes in for him and if they can make an immediate impact as well.
And you hit the nail on the head, Danny, when you said these single A teams somewhat can struggle trying to find replacements when an injury goes down. I know it's very difficult to be able to find someone to fill a role like that. A lot of players are often molded towards what they're going to be playing, so having different players, it's difficult.
And having a wide receiver, they normally play the cornerback role on defense, but Dizak trying to give it over to number 22. He's going to get that ball. Owen Petrusek gets 2 feet in on that play along the left sideline, right at the 48-yard line, so that's going to move the sticks as well.
Nice catch here on the close sideline. Once again, getting the ball velvetly over top of these Falcon defenders.
And Dizak floated the ball right over his intended receiver on that first drive. And you said it was just over his head, got a little bit too much air on it. Now he's lasered in, and he knows where his players are going to be at the time that he wants them to be. And that pass, very evident of that. Starting to see Dizak with a fresh set of chains. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left, and he's going to another ball right over, just out of the reach of Austin Pastilli, the fast wide receiver on that right side of the field. On that one, couldn't come up clutch.
Would have been a fantastic grab if he was able to make that, laying out, perhaps finding his way onto our top 3 plays when High School Roundup finally emerges.
Most definitely would have been, as we had a candidate that lasted, I believe, 3 or 4 weeks last season.
Yeah, a little over a month.
Yeah, so
that McGuffey run.
That, and also this California and Brownsville in the week 0 matchup, there was a one-handed grab, and that one led for about 4 weeks, like I mentioned.
Fantastic play.
And that was Brownsville at California. That's really been the site that we've been at for the past few years, as now Dizak gives it over to Trevor Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh working over to the right side of the field. He's going to push forward for a first down, pick up about a gain of 4 after that. A big run there from the Bearcats.
Danny, something I'm noticing about these two teams here, Bentworth is really taking advantage of Brownsville's size. They may be the smaller team, but they appear to be faster. They're getting out to the outsides and these running lanes and whatnot. They're making Brownsville pay, stretching them across the field wide.
It's a very good observation, is, you know, they're big in the middle, so maybe they'll push it out to the sides, and that's what their head coaches are doing down there for the Bearcats. And Ron Skillies, the head coach for Bentworth, really taking advantage of that, as you mentioned, spreading them out and finding the holes in coverage. 5 minutes and 35 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Austin Pastilli in motion, and Brownsville is putting pressure on, and just like that, Dizak drops down as Pastilli came across the left side of the field. Number 5 for Brownsville just came up and sniffed that one right out.
Right out indeed, nowhere to go on that one. Brownsville defensive line locked in.
Veteran play from Vandell Page. He's actually a sophomore, so, and just recognizing what Bentworth is throwing at them early on in this contest. So now Dizak looking over to the sidelines, seeing what they're going to call out. A bit of communication. 4 minutes and 45 seconds left now, as I believe Bentworth timeout. I said miscommunication, maybe no communication. They weren't really getting that play there in quick. So another timeout called, another stoppage of play here early on in this first quarter of play. At Bentworth, their progress stopped just a little bit with that injury from Dylan Farkas, but now they're just trying to keep these, high energy motions up in this contest. Trying to get back on the scoreboard and answer back to the explosive run from Brownsville and Lucas Harn.
Once again, going back to that one-handed catch that you brought up from last season that reigned supreme across the board in terms of top 3 plays. If you haven't quite seen that play yet, you can stroll on over to our YouTube channel, CUTV Sports 1. You can catch a glimpse of that and all the other fantastic plays that we covered throughout last season in anticipation for the great ones that are yet to come.
No doubt about that. Also, might go live for a few of these high school football games, all dependent on 4G coverage out here in Republic, Pennsylvania. We don't really have much of that, as Dizak throws it over right into the arms of Pastilli, and he couldn't bring his head around to catch that one, as another incomplete pass from Bentworth. Crowd getting involved in this one. You might have heard that picked up on our mics. Incomplete pass. Third down, 3rd and 10. 4 minutes and 39 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Bentworth at the 40-yard line. Two men spread wide on either side for Dizak. Looking to throw yet again, getting some air under this ball, and just out of the reach yet again of Owen Petrusek. That's going to bring up a 4th down. Likely punt situation here, as just like that, Skylar Miller trots out onto the field.
Another great throw from this Bentworth quarterback, but unfortunately just through the hands of the receiver. Couldn't close them quite in time.
And the running back, Trent Kavanaugh, we were talking about finding substitutes for a single A school. You know, he's the running back and he's also the punter. So we're going to see that with a lot of positions here for Bentworth. As the punt is away, end over end, into the awaiting arms of number 10. That is going to be Ryan Datz, and he's going to be thrown down right where he caught it at about the 14-yard line. So that is where Brownsville will start backed up. But that really didn't matter, as Lucas Harn on that last possession for Brownsville burst right through, and that could be due to their big line, Colin.
That's right, opening up holes. As long as you've got a good back who's got some good vision, and they are very proud of their running back core here at Brownsville. As we learned, they are very deep at the position. They've got lots of options to turn to, and they are very proud of that.
Senior back, very patient back there. He just looks bigger than everybody else on the field in the backfield, Lucas Harn. We're going to see if they can emulate that same success on this drive. And they're going to give it to Lucas Harn. Harn finding a hole yet again, putting his arm out almost in a stiff arm, and brought down by Trent Kavanaugh as well as Owen Petrusek. So they're still out on the field, offense and defense. Like you mentioned, get used to seeing that.
That's another important thing you'll see throughout with these single A teams that I know we're going to be covering quite a few. Having a good cardio program is a lot of the key, and these teams are turning towards lots of different ways to get their players conditioned and whatnot. Things simpler than just, you know, a run around the track or something.
One wide out on either side for Hunter Assad. He's going to give it back to Lucas Harn. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So he pushes forward for about a gain of 4 on the play. So Brownsville, their game plan, just run the ball. It's just what it seems like. They're taking advantage of Bentworth's defensive line, and they're breaking right through it.
That's right. Going back to conditioning, one of the things about one of the teams that we'll be covering later, about 2 weeks from now in Millersburg, something that program has done is turn to cardio in the pool. They've done a lot of aqua aerobics and whatnot to really get the players' endurance up. Something new, something interesting.
Exactly, all new science and all that stuff, I'm sure, that's behind that. New technique. Vandell Page coming in for Lucas Harn. And Page putting his head right down, trying to push forward and pick up a 1st down, and I believe he will, moving the chains as motioned on the field.
Brownsville playing very old school football right now. A lot of pound it right up the middle, pounding the pavement, if you will, turf, if you want to say that. Really working it up the middle of the line.
Just trying to stamp their mark in that pavement that you mentioned there, Colin, with that heavy run game. Page still in the backfield for Brownsville. Assad gets the ball and gives it right to Page. Page bounces around to the outside and then just goes right down. Is that hole closed in that last second? And having that awareness, not running right into that, just trying to, you know, protect the ball and go down.
It's been interesting to see the game of football evolve over the past couple of years, of really just handing it off to a running back who's going to put their head down, try to grind out a few yards each play, to really having quick-footed players in the backfield who are able to pick out the gaps and holes that they can head towards and slash and dive their way towards them.
Now with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left here in this first quarter of play. One man in motion for Brownsville. That is number 3, Austin Linkoski. But Vandell Page is going to get this one, staying on his feet, pushing forward, and then be brought down for about a gain of 1 on the play.
I almost thought they cooked up something interesting there for a minute on that pitch. It looked like as soon as the running back received that ball, I thought he was going to have a lot of space to work with, but kudos to those defenders out there for closing in on it.
Now with 3rd and 8, Lucas Harn checks back into this contest. Long yardage situation, and they got the back to do that with Lucas Harn. Center pops out of the huddle first. 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go now in this first quarter. 2 wideouts on the right for Assad. Gets it back, looking to throw. feeling the pressure, but gives it over just out of the reach, over the head of number 22, Lucas Kimprosky.
Just a bit too high on that one, and this is ultimately the first game for this freshman quarterback here for these Falcons, and we really haven't seen him make that too many throw attempts, but he's going to have to learn. And sometimes you'll have passes like that just don't go your way.
When you have a line that can block the way they can and a running back who can run the way Lucas Harn can, you really don't want to have your freshman quarterback to make really many throws out there on the field. It's now number 21, Nicholas Seto, back to punt. Punt this one, kind of a sideways punt, as Petrosek is just going to let this one roll out to the 21-yard line, and that is where Bentworth will start their third drive of this game. So with 2 consecutive 3-and-outs, Colin, we want to see a little bit of momentum brought up by both of these teams.
Really feeling each other out here, almost like the beginning stage of the boxing match here. Both teams have took a little bit of a lick, 7-7, and now they're settled in and really ready to let this fight go on.
You said it best. They're settling in, both of these teams, trying to find out what game plan will work coming into this contest. And, both of these lines, for Bentworth, it's more of, protecting the quarterback enough for Dizak to allow to just throw a touch pass up. And for Brownsville, it's pushing forward and trying to pick up those hard runs up the middle or even on the side like Lucas Harn did. So now Dizak with 2 wideouts spread to either side, and that shotgun formation. 1 man in motion. Rolls out to the right. Dizak looking over and will throw over just out of the hands of number 4 for Brownsville. That is Daniel Grant, and he was right there, sniffed that one out, but couldn't haul it in.
Dangerous throw there. Not quite sure if he was able to see those defenders lurking in the way and being able to clog up the passing lanes.
And something that this Brownsville team is doing is just going to wherever those players are out there on the field, just adjusting at the line of scrimmage. That's what they have to do. That's the game plan on defense, at least, for Brownsville.
1:12 left to go here in the first quarter.
We're talking about this younger team for Brownsville. A lot of room to grow, but on defense, they're making their presence known. So now Dizak still in that shotgun set. Stays in that pocket and throws up in the air, but his intended receiver, Austin Pastilli, wasn't even aware that that ball was coming in his direction, as there was 2 Falcons right on his back.
Good idea for a pass there, almost a little bit of a quick slant look to that throw there, but unfortunately the receiver could not turn his head around in time to be able to pick up that football.
Just having that awareness out there on the field, and Pastilli on that one took 1 play off, if you will. It's going to bring a 3rd and 10, 1 minute and 9 seconds left to go in this first quarter of play. All tied up at 7-7. Both teams scoring on their first drive of the contest, and a timeout taken by Bentworth. That's their 3rd timeout, so burning through those timeouts relatively quick. And not really a technique that we see a lot of teams doing. You can see this Bentworth schedule here, and they're going up against some teams that, Colin, we don't really see that often.
Yeah, a lot of teams we are not used to covering here on CUTV. West Green, Chartiers Houston, Mapletown, talked about a lot on High School Roundup last year, I know. Monessen, another small team, and California.
You're missing one that I'm seeing, Cornell, the Big Red.
The Cornell Big Red, maybe the Little Red, I guess, if we're talking about the high school version.
But yeah, Bentworth, they dropped down in a classification, so now you can see a few of these teams really focus in, as Bentworth was one of those teams that CUTV covered quite a bit.
Here's another fantastic look from our new wireless sideline cam here. New technology that we've got here at CUTV.
Great look there from Dylan Godet, our sideline camera operator here today. Dizak drops it out, just out of the reach of Trevor Kavanaugh. That ball falls incomplete, bringing up a 4th down.
Would have needed very quick reflexes to close the hands there on that one. Almost caught that defender off guard.
So now a 3-and-out from Bentworth. So I'm going to see who can really burst through and take this momentum of the contest in this week 0 matchup. a stoppage of play. I believe a timeout now from Brownsville. So this communication, I think that's something that both these teams really have to work on coming into this next contest. As both teams, you know, you see both head coaches kind of motioning over to their players, you know, hustle up, hurry up, if you will. It's got to shake off this rust here in the contest.
It's been a while since I've seen that many timeouts called in the first quarter of a ball game here, but something to expect as, once again, we can't say it enough. First contest of the year, nothing's really going to run smoothly.
Bentworth's out of timeouts even. I think California may have one left. Excuse me, Brownsville might have one left.
It's okay, Danny. Everybody's still working out their preseason kinks here.
I tell you, I worked on that quite a bit after that first game. I think we'll shake the cobwebs off. Kavanaugh now punting it. This one's going to be a short punt. Field it and hit. So now ball is loose. Now we're going to see Brownsville comes up with it, I believe. Now there's a little bit of a scrum. See who comes up with this football. Brownsville was the last to have it, and Brownsville does secure the football. Got a heads-up play there by Vendell Page. I thought he was going to let that take a bounce and come into his chest, but just tried to really account for where that ball's flight path was going to go, but accounted for it at the last second.
That football really slid around on this field here. Not sure if it's a little slick down there or not, but it really managed to slide around a lot. Almost looked like a hockey puck on a sheet of ice.
Now with 51.2 seconds left. Still knotted up at 7. Hunter Assad, the freshman quarterback, out there for the Falcons. Take a little bit friendly bounce. Lucas Harn now has it, finds another hole, but is brought down by just as big, number 75. Big play there for the Bearcats.
Clash of titans right there. Two large individuals going at each other. Physics says that won't bode well.
Big 6'2", 240-pound senior Mason Shemisek. So now with 20 seconds and counting, figure one more play for the Falcons. Assad gets his offense set, 1 man in motion. Hard count as Lucas Harn gets the ball yet again, pushing forward. He's finding some space out to just about the 12-yard line with 3.4 seconds left. One more strike here, Colin, at the end of this first quarter.
3.4 seconds left hanging around in this first quarter here, and watching this Brownsville offensive line really open up on the right side here and make great gaps for this running back to find his way through.
And they're going to say that he was stopped in bounds. So that is going to come the end of the first quarter. So it's going to end with a score of 7-7. But they're not done yet. Stay tuned for more Week 0 action right here on CUTV.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hello and welcome back into Republic, Pennsylvania. As this Week 0 matchup, Colin Kirkwood and Danny Beck on the call. And both teams, Bentworth and Brownsville, coming out of the gates hot. And now both teams are slowing down.
He really
just
likes
at
to
that
be
last
around
few
people.
drive in
And
this
as soon as
last
I start
quarter.
to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there.
Brownsville
I get out my mat
leading up
and
quite
I'm doing
a
a
bit.
downward dog and he's underneath. He's
Danny,
quite
I
the
like to
pug
refer
about
to this
town.
kind of
He
game
gets
as a
invited to lot
recliner
of
game. It rocks
parties.
back and
He knows
forth.
he's
You
a
never
pretty
really
big
know
deal.
what you're going to get from it.
Look at this little face. How could you not
That's the
love
best
him?
way to describe it, as the ball is out. Hunter Acid is down on the ball. Mispronunciation too, so get his name right at the helm, the freshman quarterback. Second and 10. 28 seconds, only 2 seconds ticked off that clock. A little bit of a mistake, fumbled the ball. 2nd down and 10. One wide out on either side for the freshman quarterback. Man in motion. Give it off to Lucas Harn. Harn pushing around the outside. That line staying tough yet again, going towards the pylon. And we're going to see what the call is, and he's going to be out at the 1-yard line, trying to push forward at the pylon. A great view there from our sideline camera operator, Dylan Godet.
Fantastic place, fantastic time awareness from Dylan Godet down there. He's been doing this all summer, working with the West Virginia Black Bears in the same type of camera. Nice to have someone bring that kind of expertise.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Colin. He was just at the right place at the right time. That anticipation and awareness out there on the field. Better have that from a former college quarterback. So now giving it to Lucas Harn. Harn putting his head down, tries to dive forward, and they will signal a touchdown from Lucas Harn. Look, he got his legs taken out from the nose tackle, but still pushes forward and gets into the end zone.
Chop down there in motion. I really didn't think he got enough on that one to get that one to the end zone, but ultimately, not my call that matters. The man in stripes is the one where it does. Touchdown for the Falcons.
Signal down on the field. Score of 13-7 now with 11 minutes and 22 seconds left. In his 2nd quarter of play, kick is up, and it is good. So Brownsville strikes first in this 2nd quarter of play now. Stay tuned as we have some more Week 0 action right here on CUTV.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Hello and welcome back into Republic, Pennsylvania as Brownsville and Lucas Harn strike again as the score is 14-7. Now Brownsville readying the kick deep, and it is away to the awaiting arms, and a kind of a lapse in judgment on that one, going down to his knees. It's number 20, Bruce Hook. He's a 130-pound senior. Not a senior play there from Lucas Hook.
On the contrary, perhaps he's a baseball player and plays a little bit of outfield, diving for that one.
Very true. As now, for 12, that is Dylan Farkas coming back out onto the field, but not putting his helmet on until he was already in the huddle. Looked a little bit odd out there, maybe taking a little bit of a different approach. Not wanting to play with the helmet, getting in his face. Big defensive line for Brownsville awaiting the Bearcats coming to the line of scrimmage. Sean Dizak at the helm still. His trips out to the left, one wide receiver to the right. Little flip over to Trent Cavanaugh. Trent Cavanaugh switching positions out there on the field, switching movement as he goes down after a little mishandle of the football as well.
Working his way towards the outside, but ultimately deciding to slash back towards the inside. Resulted in no gain.
2nd and 10, 11 minutes left before the halftime whistle. And Bentworth's progress halted. It seems like ever since Dylan Farkas went down on that injury. But he's back into this contest, so we're going to see if his presence brings a little bit of luck for this offense. Breaking huddle, 2nd and 10, trips out to the left yet again. One wide receiver to the right is Dylan Farkas. Another flip out to Trent Cavanaugh. He's going to throw, though, over to Dylan Farkas, just out of the reach, and another top play nominee possibility. That one falls incomplete.
A fantastic trick play there. No one in this facility expected that one.
Trent Kavanaugh, though, listed on the roster as a quarterback, so he's a multifaceted tool for this Bearcats offense. And that one just really showing why, he could do whatever he can out there for the Bearcats on offense.
So close to being explosive there as that trips on the far side of the field really drew the defense over there and essentially caught them napping just fingertips away from most likely 6 points.
That same formation for the Bearcats 3 times in a row. This is 3rd down. As now Dizak over on the right side of the field, and a huge drop from Austin Bastilli. Another one-handed catch, almost coming in big on that play. And another flag coming out as they're pointing over, the referees are pointing over to the Brownsville bench. So likely another unsportsmanlike conduct. Don't want to speculate, however, we're going to wait to see the call out there on the field.
Almost a little bit of a lapse of fundamentals there, Danny. Always go up with 2 hands.
Another unsportsmanlike conduct called on Brownsville. Can't have that. That's free yards that you're just gifting to Bentworth, especially when it was a 3rd down and 10. That was an incomplete pass. That would have brought up 4th down. So that's huge if you're Brownsville.
Especially when your secondary continues to get caught napping like this, as it happened for the Falcons.
Seems like Bentworth is at the right place at the right time, but just out of the reach of their intended receivers on the past few plays. Same look yet again. Kavanaugh lined up to Dizak's right this time, and he's just going to throw it out, and Kavanaugh falls on it. They're going to say an incomplete pass. These shuttle passes are what they're seemingly going with the past few plays. These option shuttles, if you will.
It can be a very effective game plan if you play it the right way, and we've seen them play it very well so far here today.
Now 2nd down and 10, 10 minutes and 15 seconds left before halftime. Score is 14-7 in favor of the home team, Brownsville Falcons. Dizak drops the throw now, moving out to his left, feeling pressure. Over to a wide open Bruce Hook. Hook now on the left side of the field and just going to step out of bounds, but not before picking up a gain of 17 on the play and a 1st down.
I feel as if he was almost surprised to be that alone there on the field. There was nobody around him for almost miles.
He was wide open, and Dizak just went through his progressions and found a wide open receiver, and that resulted in a new set of chains. 10 minutes and 6 seconds left in this 2nd quarter of play. Lights are on and the temperature is going down, Colin. You can kind of feel that cool breeze coming in. And thankfully, the cold breeze is coming in, as right before pregame, it was pretty hot up here, a little bit steamy.
It was toasty.
So now Dizak finds the hole, pushing through, has some blockers in front of him, switches over to the right side of the field and is going to go down, not before picking up a 1st down. That is a gain of 14 on the play. So 2 big plays strung right back and forth for the Bearcats.
And this is just a great way to play if you're a lower A level of football here, being able to catch people off guard with different types of runs and whatnot.
A lot of option plays for Bentworth, and they're coming up big. That awareness from the junior quarterback, Sean Dizak, is shining through. His offensive line is giving him time. Before pregame, we were talking about this Brownsville line being that X factor that we thought was going to burst through, but Bentworth staying tough on that offensive line.
Yeah, it appears maybe we might have been wrong. Maybe the X factor's on the offensive side of the ball here today.
Now a give over to Trent Kavanaugh, a little bit of trickery. That's going to be sniffed out. They're going to mark it a gain of 1 on the play. Bring up a 2nd down and 10, 9 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Bentworth trying to answer back to Brownsville's score on that last possession from Lucas Harn.
Might have a shaken up player here for the Bearcats, and number 2. I take that back.
Shook that right off. As Pastilli and Farcaster on this right side, 2 men spread out either side for Dizak. Kavanaugh lays a block and allows Dizak to float the ball up, and a big one-handed catch there for Brownsville. A huge play by number 3, Austin Linkoski.
Once again, another ill-advised throw from the Bentworth quarterback here, tossing that up into double coverage.
That was Odell Beckham Jr.-esque, if that is even an adjective, as he just put his hand up and brought that ball down for an interception for Brownsville.
I would say you're certified to make a reference like that, being a big Giants fan as you are. Tons of great plays here. This is only the first game.
And Dizak just threw that ball up, as you mentioned before, getting a little bit of air on that ball. And that allowed Brownsville to just come up and pick it one right out of the air. And now Hunter Acid. Actually, no, Lucas Harn doing a little bit of a wildcat set. And they're going to have to call a timeout in that formation that he was looking for. Lucas Harn looks to be the head caller out there on the play. And I believe that's the last timeout they have. So both teams out of timeouts with 8 minutes and 39 seconds left before halftime. And Colin, what an interception yet again. We can go back to that as many times as possible. And we're going to see if they can do that later on in their schedule, as you see on your screen, Brownsville's schedule.
A couple of interesting tidbits here. 2 non-conference matchups against some marquee opponents here. We have Shady Side coming up next week, and Jeanette making the trip here to Republic.
That's a big contest, as Jeanette favorites to win their conference yet again, also on their Charleroi. And we were talking about Gino Pellegrini. You know, he's an X Factor. We were talking about X Factors before. Gino Pellegrini is a walking X Factor out there on the field, no matter what, with his arm or running for the Charleroi Cougars.
Don't even count out a nice game against Washington here, too.
Now Lucas Harn at the helm. He's just going to give it over to Vendale Page. So nothing doing on that little run. I believe they're going to stay with that same look. As Austin Linkoski barks the play over to Lucas Harn. Seeing that wildcat look, and you were talking about a little bit of trickery paying big dividends for offenses here in these lower classifications. Brownsville living up to exactly that. Giving it off to Page yet again. Page shifting over onto the right side, and he's going to pick up a first down and more, moving the chains for the Falcons.
Good dash at the far side of the field here, dicing his way through defenders.
First and 10 now with 7 minutes and 49 seconds left to go before halftime. Brownsville, that big interception, igniting this crowd yet again, trying to stay true to their scoring ways in that last possession. Back into this contest, under center is Hunter Acid. Now with Page still in the backfield for the Falcons. And Page is going to get the look yet again. Just swarming into the hole there was Bentworth and number 30, Trent Kavanaugh. Just to the line of scrimmage, it looked like Trent Kavanaugh came in and sniffed that play out. That hole was big. We talked about this offensive line coming in clutch, and they're working down the field, but they have to keep what's in front of them first.
Good fundamental tackling, too, often helps out as they went low on that one, and it paid off.
Breaking huddle on this second down and 9. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to go before halftime. One man in motion for the Falcons, streaking across the field. And a new running back in there is Daniel Grant. Grant met at the line of scrimmage, caught a gain of 1 on the play.
Met by a wall there, trying to make another dash. Unsuccessful that time.
trying to sniff out the holes on defense of Bentworth. Acid still there in quarterback. Daniel Grant as well. One wide receiver spread out wide on either side of the football. Acid gets this one, looks back to throw. Throwing over to a wide open receiver. It's just out of the reach of Austin Linkoski. Trying to put that one hand to use yet again here on the offensive side of the ball, just out of his reach. However, as he comes up, shaking on his left side, I believe, as he's going to sub out.
Danny, we've been a few inches away from a far different ball game here today. A lot of trick passes, a lot of deep balls have almost resulted in near flawless plays, but a few inches separate us and give us this 7-point showdown.
Now a 4th and 8. Have a weird spiraling punt. It's going to take a weird bounce even back in the favor of Bentworth. And they're going to down this ball at the 47-yard line, and that's where Bentworth is going to start their 4th or 5th possession of this ball game, now with 5 minutes and 48 seconds left to go. And Colin, it's a tale of pretty 2 quarters. Really, you saw Brownsville scoring on their first possession of the first quarter and their first possession of the second quarter, but all in between there really stifled their progress.
Tale of 2 quarters indeed. Nonetheless, an entertaining way to spend a Friday night.
No question about it. In this first week before school started for us, Colin, not really doing much, as Bentworth is going to get some extra help now from Brownsville, likely unsportsmanlike conduct yet again. The team's chattering. It seems to be going in favor of Bentworth, although now they're getting a little bit more help at the 38-yard line of Brownsville. Dizak has 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to his right. He's going to go in the area of Dylan Farkas. Farkas just out of his hands yet again. Good defense there from Austin Linkoski, and if I was Dizak, I would be going away from Austin Linkoski, especially in that last interception.
Perhaps maybe thinking a little bit too much about the footing of that catch there, working very close to the sideline.
Good coverage yet again from Brownsville. A little bit of safety help on that play. Linkoski is not alone. So they have big number 10, Philip Pace. That's senior player for the Falcons. Zach drops a throw yet again over the middle of the field this time into the arms of his intended receiver, and he's going to streak into the end zone. Touchdown, Owen Petrusek.
I think we have a flag on the play here, and it looks like we do.
Moving the flag, we're going to see what this call is, and they're bringing it back. And it's going to be a hold on Bentworth. And you hate to see that, especially when a play goes to Pater.
Oh, you hate to see that indeed. It definitely takes the wind out of your sails if you're on offense. So close, yet so far.
Almost a pick play ran on that one as Petrusek streaked over towards us right at the booth to the right side of the field and got a good block. And that allowed him to streak right down the right side of the field and get into the end zone, but not before a holding halted their progress. So now with the sun setting, right out of our view, that is 5 minutes and 35 seconds left before halftime. Bentworth now dropping to throw yet again. A wide open receiver and another flag on the play, but not before Austin Pastilli drags in a pass that will get him out to the 18-yard line. Excuse me, the 23-yard line, but like I said, this flag marked at the 42-yard line. Going to bring this one back yet again. And another hold from Bentworth. They're just going the wrong way. Because now I believe that will mark a 2nd and 30. 2nd and 33. So Colin, they definitely went backwards. Don't want that to happen, especially when they have to answer back to Brownsville's offense.
Yes, indeed here. 5:20 and rolling just before the half. You're in a position to really make a statement heading into the halfway point of the game here. Tying it up.
Dizak looking to throw, goes deep, and just out of the reach. Austin Lankowski was trying to make a big play, and Austin Pastilli was right there, the intended receiver, as the ball falls incomplete, bringing up a 3rd down, and still 33. 5 minutes and 7 seconds left before halftime.
These are some bold throws that Bentworth is feeling the need to make here on offense. Almost ill-advised once again. High risk, high reward, as we've seen earlier so far.
Like I said, trying to answer back to this potent offense from Brownsville. But their strikes are few and far in between. They're just trying to string some success together. Bentworth, now Trent Kavanaugh, trying to pick up a 1st down and won't get back. Maybe picking up a 1st down if it was 1st and 10. However, he's got 23 more yards in front of him. So that would signal a 4th down. And Brownsville getting a chance on offense now. Right there in the middle of the field, though, 4th and 24, as the punter will come out. Punter will stay on the field, actually. Trent Kavanaugh, that running back. Austin Lankowski, the only return man for the Falcons, back deep. And a snap over the head of Trent Kavanaugh, and he just tries to push forward and pick up a 1st down on his feet. A block on that play as Kavanaugh gets out to about the 45-yard line. But as I mentioned, a flag likely penalizing the Bearcats. A lot of talking from both teams, though, Colin.
A lot of talking going on here. As we said earlier, a staple rivalry game here in the Mon Valley for years and years. Splitting apart here, but still meeting.
Personal foul. There's a clip on that play from Bentworth, so getting some free yards are the Falcons.
A little bit of a different twist here, if you will. Brownsville has been giving out the free yards, and now they'll be receiving them. Let's see if they can make good on them.
So now ball at the 45-yard line, right where Kavanaugh fell on that ball. Acid now gives it over to Lucas Harn. Harn steps over one man and then is thrown back. Another flag thrown behind the ball.
I think this one might have to do with the contact made on that last tackle. I'm not sure if you caught that, but there was direct helmet contact there.
And Harn is coming up slow, still on his knee. Medical staff coming in, but that's one of those players, Colin, that you don't want to see go out of this contest. He has big play potential for the Falcons, especially early on in a season, as it's looking like his leg is getting stretched out, but that big play potential is something that you never want to see in the contest.
Also, a good thing for the Falcons is that no reach towards the upper body head area, as you know that head trauma and head injuries are becoming more common.
I believe it was a chop block set by Bentworth was the call. So that's free yards for Brownsville. Still stretching out. They're stretching out both legs. Don't want to speculate, however.
Correct.
But the ball is being placed now at the 28-yard line. So 3 yards and more. 15-yard penalty on the play. But this gameplay in this first half of play, Colin, you want to see this. This is high school football. These are two teams going at it. You mentioned fierce rivals before these classification shifts, but we're still seeing that same play playing out here today.
Still seeing fantastic fundamental play here as the Falcon is finally up and moving. As we're glad to see that.
So he's not able to put much pressure on his right leg, but he is coming off the field under his own power.
This could be a game changer here.
It can, but you know, there was a few different running backs in this game for the Falcons. As now it looks like he's hobbling off the field, but you know, they have a few other options out there for the Brownsville Falcons, and you know, with good field position, they want to score in this situation with 4 minutes and 5 seconds left before halftime.
Right, indeed, and as we said before, very proud of their running back core here. So we'll see who's next man up and is going to answer the bell.
Looks like that is new running back number 25, Timothy Banish, and he's going to get this ball and be thrown down. I know from up here it looks significantly smaller than most of those other linemen out there on the field. One of those aforementioned linemen coming up a little bit slow.
3:40 and rolling.
2nd and 9. Hunter Acid still at quarterback for the Falcons. Three minutes and 25 seconds left to go now. You might be seeing a little push to the pass game with Lucas Harnout, but they're still in that I formation set. One wide receiver split to either side. And Acid was motioning for a timeout, but they don't have any timeouts left. That's that freshman quarterback, you know, you're going to see these mistakes, Colin.
That's right, just we touched on a little bit earlier. Getting handed the keys to this offense here, it's going to take a little bit of adjustment.
Push back 5 yards. 2nd and 14 now. As Banish subs out. Coming back into this contest is Daniel Grant. And he's actually going to be utilized as a wide receiver as they have trips out to the right. Acid only has number 40, Rocco Frisco, behind him. Dropping back into the shotgun set and then over to Daniel Grant. Grant couldn't come up with the football, but having that awareness of just laying on the football, he dropped it, but he thought he was behind Acid, so he just fell on it. Fortunately for him, though, it falls incomplete.
Slipped right through the hands there. Perhaps was thinking about how far ahead he was going to run before securing the football.
Coming back in. It's Vandell Grant.
2:30 left to go here in the half.
Vandell Page, actually. Still in that I formation set. 2 men wide out to the right. Acid being thrown down and bludgeoned right there from Bentworth. That big defensive line coming in big to bring up a 4th down. And that will ignite some emotion out of this Bentworth Bearcat side.
A big wave comes crashing in here on the young quarterback from this Bentworth defense. Perhaps that'll be in the back of his mind here for the rest of the game.
It has to be in the back of his mind, and just that little tick of awareness that you have to have, especially when you're at quarterback for your team. So now Bentworth, 1 man back deep, and the snap over the head of the punter. And 1 man, he's trying to pick up the 1st down with his own feet, as Vandell Page will be penalized on the play. And blindside hit there as another Brownsville Falcon is down. Hate to see these injuries early on in a contest, or in a season rather. Because you're going to get injured right before the season even starts. You don't have time to get your feet underneath you and really show your coach what you have.
Took a really tough hit there on that block after that botched punt attempt there.
He's moving his feet and then pops right back up. So that was number 8, Elijah Allen. Another running back option for this Falcons team. A personal foul against Brownsville. The penalty is declined, however. So now with 1 minute and 37 seconds left before halftime, Bentworth has an opportunity to strike back. Not this contest back up at 14, as it was 7-all just before this second quarter began.
All in all, a fierce rivalry matchup indeed.
Sean Dizak trots back out onto the field and is in the huddle now for the Bearcats. On the shotgun set, trips out to the right, one to his left. Trent Kavanaugh in the backfield right alongside him. Gets the play, rolls out to the right, throwing on the run over to Austin Pastilli. And right before he tried to haul that ball in, Daniel Grant came in and poked the ball away from him.
Went for a little bit of a check down throw here, perhaps trying to make something happen on one of the lower options on the chart of the play. To no avail.
And throwing on the run, too, for Sean Dizak, showing that he can do that. Unfortunately, though, the intended receiver wasn't in the position that he could haul that ball in. Dizak still in the shotgun set. Two men wide out on either side. Now one man in motion. Has the option. He's going to give it to that man streaking across. Shakes and bakes over across the 40-yard line out to the 38. So now it's going to bring up a third down. Good run there from number 22, Owen Petrosak.
Petrosak with a shifty move there, working his way towards the outside, as we've seen any kind of running attack for these Bearcats thrive here today on the outside once again. Getting yards in bunches.
No doubt about it. Now getting to the ball pretty quick. Now with under a minute left. Trips out to the left. Dizak staying in that huddle, or excuse me, in the pocket. Right into the arms of Austin Pastilli. Big play missed yet again. Austin Pastilli just throwing his hand up in the air, trying to bring that ball in, just out of his reach.
There's two different ways that you can go about catching a football. You can perhaps go with the one-handed attempt, maybe, make a flashy play and whatnot and try to stay on your feet to head towards the end zone. Or you can perhaps go up two hands and try to catch it over the shoulder.
On that one, he picked the earlier option and couldn't bring it in. 49.9 seconds left, excuse me. As they break huddle. It's 4th and 3, so trying to pick up some yards and keep this drive alive. One man in motion. It's Austin Pastilli. Dizak gives it over to Trent Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh picks it out of the air, staying on his feet, out across the 30-yard line, and gets it to the 27. Clock is stopped so they can move the chains. 42.3 seconds left. Bentworth keeping these chains moving.
Almost thought that screenplay was going to break down there in the backfield. A lot of Falcons pushed in on that one, but a good, strong run keeps things going.
Clock shows 30 seconds left in this first half of play. Dizak gets it, fakes the give to Kavanaugh, looking deep over to Frankus. It's just out of the reach, out of bounds as well. Almost in the area of Dylan Farkas. 23.5 left to go now.
Brownsville continues to play well under pressure with this slim margin of 7 points for them to defend.
Dizak rushes into the huddle. Barks the call out and breaks it. Trips out to the left, one to his right. Farkas, that lone receiver, on that near side of the screen. Looking left, is going to go left. Over to Bruce Hook, and he's going to be thrown down. Big play. And that likely will signal the end of this first half of play, unless they get back to the ball quick. As with no timeouts, Dizak is under center and is just going to spike this one with 3.2 seconds left. And Bruce Hook on that one. He was left alone earlier on a few possessions ago and just had a great run to the left side of the field on that one, though. Brownsville didn't allow that to happen again. Sniffed that one out and brought him down pretty hard.
No chance Brownsville is going to be caught napping again on that same type of play.
Javon Dove laid the hit stick on Bruce Hook. 4th and 13. Likely see a big play here. Dizak gives it over to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh now across the 30, out to the 20, makes one man miss, out to the 10-yard line, and that is how the first half of action will end in week 0. Brownsville up in this one, 14-7 over Bentworth. Stay tuned as we have some more week 0 action coming right here on CUTV.
Are you a visual storyteller? The Cal Times and CUTV is looking for students with an interest in expanding their skills in photography and videography. We call it visual journalism, and we're here to offer you opportunities to learn how to shoot and edit from a wide range of events at California University of Pennsylvania. Our focus is on local coverage of sports and news events from campus and around the region. We provide on-site training as we help you develop your skills as a visual multimedia storyteller for the Cal Times newspaper and CUTV News Center. To learn more about visual journalism opportunities and join our team, visit our media production facility in the Natali Student Center or email the Cal Times at caltimes@calu.edu.
The Student Association Incorporated, or SAI, has been serving California University's student body since 1937. SAI is owned and operated by the students, which means every student has a voice in the corporation. Over 100 clubs and organizations are funded through student activities fees. These clubs and organizations cover a wide variety of interests from academic, arts, media communications, faith, politics, service, sports, recreation, and much more. If you don't find a club you like, you can start your own by finding 20 like-minded students. The opportunities are endless. The Student Association is directed by a board of directors made up of undergraduate and graduate students, alumni, and retired faculty. In addition to clubs and activities, the Student Association owns 2 areas for recreation that total close to 200 acres, Roadman Park and the SAI Farm. Roadman Park hosts club sports such as men's and women's rugby and the club baseball team. A variety of intramural sports are hosted at Roadman Park as well. The Vulcan tennis team plays its home matches at its facility, and a baseball field serves as home to the club baseball team and a practice field for the varsity team. The SAI Farm offers many different recreation and meeting opportunities. The renovated farmhouse, which dates back to the 1790s, has space for meetings and banquets. A picnic pavilion seats up to 128 people and is equipped with restrooms, playground, horseshoe pits, and volleyball court. Throughout the property is the disc golf course, which was the first course built in Washington County. There is a fitness course around a portion of the cross-country track and nature and hiking trails across the property. If that's not enough, the Student Association owns Vulcan Village housing near Roadman Park, approximately 1 mile from campus. These fully furnished apartments offer private bedrooms with the option of private bathrooms too. These options include 2-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 4-bath, and 4-bed, 2-bath. Housing at Vulcan Village includes all utilities, cable and internet, along with an outdoor saltwater pool, basketball court, and sand volleyball court. Room service dining is also available to the residents. Vulcan Village houses 770 people spread out among 199 apartments, so finding something to do or someone to spend time with is a breeze. The Student Association Incorporated aims to make student life better for all students. Get involved in the various clubs and activities, and make sure to utilize your activities transcript. The activities transcript is a resource to keep track of what you're involved in. This is great to have when applying for jobs and internships to show how involved you are. And this is another awesome tool provided by SAI. Remember, SAI is your student association.
Hello and welcome back into Republic, Pennsylvania. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the sights and sounds of the Brownsville Marching Band.
Are you a visual storyteller? The Cal Times and CUTV is looking for students with an interest in expanding their skills in photography and videography. We call it visual journalism, and we're here to offer you opportunities to learn how to shoot and edit from a wide range of events at California University of Pennsylvania. Our focus is on local coverage of sports and news events from campus and around the region. We provide on-site training as we help you develop your skills as a visual multimedia storyteller for the Cal Times newspaper and CUTV News Center. To learn more about visual journalism opportunities and join our team, visit our media production facility in the Natali Student Center or email the Cal Times at caltimes@calu.edu.
The Student Association Incorporated, or SAI, has been serving California University's student body since 1937. SAI is owned and operated by the students, which means every student has a voice in the corporation. Over 100 clubs and organizations are funded through student activities fees. These clubs and organizations cover a wide variety of interests from academic, arts, media communications, faith, politics, service, sports, recreation, and much more. If you don't find a club you like, you can start your own by finding 20 like-minded students. The opportunities are endless. The Student Association is directed by a board of directors made up of undergraduate and graduate students, alumni, and retired faculty. In addition to clubs and activities, the Student Association owns 2 areas for recreation that total close to 200 acres, Roadman Park and the SAI Farm. Roadman Park hosts club sports such as men's and women's rugby and the club baseball team. A variety of intramural sports are hosted at Roadman Park as well. The Vulcan tennis team plays its home matches at its facility, and a baseball field serves as home to the club baseball team and a practice field for the varsity team. The SAI Farm offers many different recreation and meeting opportunities. The renovated farmhouse, which dates back to the 1790s, has space for meetings and banquets. A picnic pavilion seats up to 128 people and is equipped with restrooms, playground, horseshoe pits, and volleyball court. Throughout the property is the disc golf course, which was the first course built in Washington County. There is a fitness course around a portion of the cross-country track and nature and hiking trails across the property. If that's not enough, the Student Association owns Vulcan Village housing near Roadman Park, approximately 1 mile from campus. These fully furnished apartments offer private bedrooms with the option of private bathrooms too. These options include 2-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 4-bath, and 4-bed, 2-bath. Housing at Falcon Village includes all utilities, cable and internet, along with an outdoor saltwater pool, basketball court, and sand volleyball court. Room service dining is also available to the residents. Falcon Village houses 770 people spread out among 199 apartments, so finding something to do or someone to spend time with is a breeze. The Student Association Incorporated aims to make student life better for all students. Get involved in the various clubs and activities, and make sure to utilize your activities transcript. The activities transcript is a resource to keep track of what you are involved in. This is great to have when applying for jobs and internships to show how involved you are. And this is another awesome tool provided by SAI. Remember, SAI is your student association.
Welcome back to this Week 0 matchup here at Brownsville and Bentworth here in Republic, PA. As you get a live shot of the concession stand as we continue to make use of this brand new wireless camera here at CUTV. I'm Colin Kirkwood along with my pal Danny Beck for this Week 0 action. And Danny, we got to sample a little bit of the concession stand here earlier today. Your thoughts?
Pretty good. I had a hot dog and, water, just the generic Danny Beck combo.
The Danny Beck combo.
The Danny Beck combo. And you had 2 green hot dogs.
I did. I do enjoy jalapenos on my hot dog, and whenever I get a chance to place them on there, I'm going to take full advantage of it.
It was pretty good, though. I have to say, Brownsville is one of those better venues that we get to try out each season, and it's a treat having their first concession stand starting with Brownsville this season.
Homemade food is always a fantastic thing. We thank everyone here at Brownsville for being so hospitable towards us every year that we come here. As we're just about ready to get the second half underway, kick is up and away. Receiving is Brownsville. Oh, and they're going to muff the football here back towards their own goal line, taking off with the far side of the field, and the ball comes out again. Scramble for it, and it's covered. Brownsville retains.
Yeah, that was a big play there for Brownsville. You just have to handle that football as well as you can, especially when there were some handling issues earlier on in this contest. So it's just something that you have to get used to, shake off those cobwebs, and get those hands secured onto that football, that pigskin. You definitely want to see that early on in the season. Not a mistake you want to make later on.
That's right. We've talked about shaking off the cobwebs here a lot so far in this game, as this is the first one of the season. Cobwebs for teams and broadcasters alike. The cobweb right above my head. They're everywhere here tonight on Friday. First down here for the Falcons. Under center, dropping back. It's going to be a handoff shut down by the Bearcats.
Nothing doing on that one. That run game that was really potent in the first half of play. Not the same on that first rush up the middle.
Second down here for the Falcons. Danny Beck, Colin Kirkwood here with you on this first Friday of the year. I form here for the Falcons. Bentworth pushing. It looks like the football might have got lost in translation. Knocking around. Bentworth thinks they have it. We'll see if they do. And I believe Brownsville's going to be keeping the football.
Bentworth came up with the football as now they switched over the sides. Big play there, Colin.
Oh, big play indeed there. This is premier field position here for this Bentworth offense. Sean Zach coming out here at quarterback for this Bearcats offense here. Having a nice game so far. He's had a couple of good throws for his club. And we're going to have a flag here. Most likely in the realm of a false start if I were a betting man. And I think it's going to be offsides on defense here, so Brownsville's going to march back into the shadow of their own goal post here.
Yeah, back in the dark corner of this field. That back left corner of that end zone, kind of almost in the woods, Colin.
Here we go. 1st and 5 to go. Rolling out towards the right, putting towards the back of the end zone. A little bit too high there. Looking to catch that one was number 2, Austin Pistilli.
You mentioned Sean Dizak getting some air under his throws early on in this contest, and right there you saw exactly that situation play out over in the area of Austin Pistilli. And Pistilli has made quite a few plays for this Bearcats offense here tonight, just trying to make another one. Couldn't toe tap in or bring the ball in on that pass.
2nd and 5, 11-10 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Four wide here for the Bearcats. One in motion on the inside. It's going to be a handoff right up the middle. Charging his way up the field. Should be good enough for a 1st down here. 1st and goal for the Bearcats.
Big play yet again from Trevor Kavanaugh, putting his head down and pushing forward for the Bearcats. And that run game helping them pick up those much needed yards. He's trying to tie this contest up at 14 yet again.
Trevor Kavanaugh has been a big portion of this Bentworth offense here today. So we've seen him make quite a few runs up and down, left to right, any kind of way you want to call it, he's been running the football. 4 wide again here for the Bearcats. 1st and goal. It's going to be a handoff up the inside once again, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Touchdown up the middle for the Bearcats.
Big play yet again. Trevor Kavanaugh, patient running right up the middle of the field. And just finding that hole out there and just exploiting it to the best of his ability, getting into the end zone. And like I said, getting those much needed points and picking up some more yards in the process.
Setting up here for the extra point are the Bearcats. A little bit of a low snap, but nonetheless, it is up and good here. All square at 14 apiece here in week 0. Stay tuned for more action here on CUTV. Back in action here as that kickoff is going to go out of bounds, and that, of course, will draw a flag. Bentworth looking to play some defense here, coming off a strong drive that involved gifted field position, Danny.
Yeah, it definitely did, and coming up big, Trevor Kavanaugh, one of those offensive and defensive threats, making his presence known and getting right into the end zone. But as you mentioned, illegal procedure right there on Bentworth, but it's really how you line up. I feel like if you're pretty much like golf, Colin, if your feet are lined up in that direction, you're going to kick it in that direction. Yeah, so Bentworth right there on the opposite end of a mistake. A lot of mistakes were going in favor of Bentworth earlier on in this contest.
Here is Brownsville's first attempt back on offense here. It's going to be kept right up the middle. Moving his way for a sizable gain is number 2, Lucas Harn. A little bit worried about him earlier in the game as he did leave with a little bit of a leg injury, but he is back. But we do have a down Falcon. As there's fireworks peeking over the tree line here, perhaps from campus and welcome night.
Austin Linkoski, I believe, is the down player for the Falcons.
Now we can take a look at CUTV's high school football game of the week schedule.
And as you can see right there, the no game August 31st, we are going to be in Columbus, Ohio on the Thursday before, and we also have soccer the next day, so no game there. And then Millersburg at Upper Dauphin, back on the right side of the state and the eastern side, and then Fraser and Charleroi. That game I'm really circling, Washington at California. That's a huge matchup, two powerhouses from last season facing off. And also West Mifflin at Ringgold, huge potential for that contest yet again.
We've got a great slate of games here for you to enjoy on CUTV, and we hope that you tune in as that injured Falcon is now up and moving off the field here.
One matchup also that I didn't mention before, Fraser at Beth Center, last game of the season. Implications are huge there for playoff position if both teams are in contention. But, you know, Fraser and Beth Center, a few years before my freshman year, there was actually a brawl that broke out. Former announcers Matt Hagee and Zach Prosba alerted us of that, you know, the tensions were high, and we saw those tensions played out.
So we're going to be run up the middle here once again, staying on his feet and looking for a little bit more, and it's going to be a first down here for Harn.
Lucas Harn, powerful runner on that right side of the field. It seems like if there's no hole for him, he bursts through and makes his own hole, and that's how he was able to pick up the first down on that play, Colin.
Making his way up the field and making it look easy at that. A first down for the Falcons. 9:53 and running here in this third quarter. Tied up action if you're just joining us. 14 apiece. Falcons have a man in motion. Running towards the near side, and they're going to keep it once again. Up the middle is Harn, and he's going to be chopped down for a few yards. Give him about 3.
Brownsville's liking that wildcat formation, utilizing it, especially on that play. Harn getting the direct snap and trying to push right up the middle. Unfortunately, though, his progress was halted on a little bit of a chop.
2nd and 8 for these Falcons. Really liking this formation here. Man to the left of Harn, man behind him as well, and I do believe we're going to have a false start here on the Falcons. Yep, and we will be heading backwards here.
Mistakes that you don't want to see, but you can deal with them if they're earlier on in the season.
You can correct them.
Correct those mistakes. That's exactly right. That's a mistake that I'm sure this Falcon team is going to be paying for in practice.
2nd and 13 now for Brownsville. Gorgeous night here in western Pennsylvania. Under center is Harn. He's got the snap, and once again, he's going to work with it and try to run it up the middle, but nowhere to go for him.
Thrown down yet again. Maybe that middle isn't where Lucas Harn should set up camp. Maybe he should push the ball to the outside. They're really just trying to push it right up the middle, and it's not really working in favor of the Falcons.
Gain of 1 there. 3rd and 12. Danny, we've seen them opt for running the ball up the middle here plenty of times in this drive. Do you perhaps think they'll try it again, or do you think they'll get creative?
3rd and 12. You almost expect a pass in the situation, but they have been sticking with, this run game. It'll be interesting to see what they go with.
Man in motion. Ball's in the backfield, looking for a throw here, airing it out. Caught! First down for the Falcons. A good job there by that Brownsville receiver to turn around and come back to that ball as it ran out of steam.
And a senior play there from Philip Pace, locating the ball in the air and coming back to wherever it was. And on that one, it results in a first down and moving the chains. And exactly what we were talking about, Colin. They went with the pass, except it was Lucas Harn who was throwing the ball.
Hot hand here for the Falcons. 1st and 10. Moving it down. Here goes Harn up the middle once again, and he is going to continue to be stopped, and a flag is going to fly here.
Skylar Miller trying to halt the progress of Lucas Harn. Just got thrown right out of the way and thrown to the ground. See what the call is on the play.
It's going to be a hold on the Falcons, so they'll head backwards once again on this drive.
And from up here, it looked like it was called on number 77, Ross Swartz, as he was in the backfield kind of tussling with a Bentworth player.
First down for the Falcons here, make it a 1st and 19. Keeping their same shape here is Brownsville. Took the words right out of my mouth, changing it up. 2-man to Harn's side here. He's going to drop back and he's going to throw this one. Runs out of time. The pressure is getting to him. Holds on to the football. Sack for Bentworth.
And Lucas Harn on that one. Looked like he mishandled the football. Was trying to grip onto those laces. His hand might have slipped off. That's what kind of flustered him a little bit and pushed him out to the right side of the field. But then Bentworth right there just swarmed right on top of him.
Perhaps ran out of time there. Wasn't quite sure what the decision was going to be. Nonetheless, it's now going to be 2nd and 24. For these Falcons. Right on that freshly sprayed midfield logo. Harn with a man to his left and a man behind. Harn's going to fake the handoff, and he's going to roll to the right here, and he's got plenty of room to run, moving his way up the field. Brought down by a host of Bearcats. Good chunk of yardage there for the Falcons.
Picked up about 16 yards on that play. Actually, no, they're going to mark about a gain of 13 on the play, but that was a big chunk of yards that they really needed to pick up. And Lucas Harn, that guy that you can really count on if you're a Falcon fan to pick up those yards for you.
3rd and 13 is the official spot here. 5:38 left in the 3rd quarter. Knotted up at 14. Are these fierce rivals? We are just getting started here in 2018. Harn's going to keep this one and go to work his way up the middle, and once again will be shut down to a minimal gain.
Trying to push forward yet again right in the middle of the field. And nothing doing. Now it's going to bring up 4th down, so they got to pick up quite a few yards, about 4th and 10. So it should be interesting whenever we're going to see that freshman quarterback come into this game yet again, Acid. Did quite a good job in that first half of play.
4th and 10 here for the Falcons. And I do believe they are going to go for it here.
Down over there, Philip Pace. If I had one of those screens you could write on, I would circle his name.
Here's Harn. He's going to throw this one down the field, and no good. We're going to have a turnover on downs here.
Right into the area of Philip Pace. In that situation, they went to him before he located the ball in the air. They're going to stay with that look. Unfortunately, though, couldn't convert on it.
Somewhat a bit of a predictive play call there, Danny. You could really pick up on what the Falcons were cooking up on offense. A lot of up the middle from Harn and the occasional toss down the left side of the field.
And it looked like Lucas Harn came into the huddle kind of warming up his shoulder, rotating his shoulder a little bit. And that's tipping off the defense right away what you're going to do.
Right.
So it's just those nonverbal movements that you can do out there on the football field, and the defense just picked up on it.
First down for the Bearcats here, and they're going to hand it up off the middle. Moving up the field is Kavanaugh. He's got room to run. He's moving up the sideline, moving and moving. He's got a blocker. I think he's going to get caught up. No, yes, he will get caught up. Got a little bit excited, a little bit ahead of myself. He is going to be down, looks to be about the 2 or 3 yard line.
Huge run there from Trent Kavanaugh, and just switched over on the left side of the field. Just great awareness out there for Trent Kavanaugh, and just pushing right down the field. I do believe that we have an injured Falcon. He's on the sideline, though, so see what they're going to switch up.
Staff is going to attend to him, but what an explosive run from Kavanaugh, Danny.
Absolutely electric run. And, you know, running up the middle of the field, something that Brownsville has been trying to do on their last possession, didn't work in their favor. But Brownsville, they just let up a little bit of a run and then kind of switch back. And that was the skill from Trent Kavanaugh that really allowed him to burst through and almost pick up that touchdown just a few yards short. You were saying you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself, but he was getting a little bit ahead of himself. It looked like he slowed down just a little bit and then got his feet clipped out from underneath him, and that's what allowed Brownsville to stop him from getting into the end zone.
Not quite in mid-season form yet. Always excited for big plays, however. 4:21, our clock here in the third quarter. 14 all. Appears to be getting stretched out. And when you have lower numbers, Danny, a lot of times players do cramp up occasionally, playing on both sides of the ball. So you can almost expect to see that. I know it was commonplace, and I've seen it plenty of times.
Especially if you have less numbers, the player goes down, that allows everybody else to really relax and catch their breath. But on this side, Brownsville's player is down, so hopefully he's okay. They're stretching out his legs quite a few times when a player has gone down. It seems like in this game they're stretching him out.
Right.
And that's like what you said. A little bit of stiff muscles. This is the first game, so their body's really getting used to this. But they've been working. This is not the first time they're seeing the football field. They've been working quite a few weeks in preparation for this game.
Right. Whether it be 7-on-7, practices, scrimmages, all sorts of things like that, as our Falcon has finally found his way up here. Can't quite see the number from here. Nonetheless, we've got a 1st and goal here.
Looked like number 10, Philip Pace.
Ball's been spotted on the 1-yard line. Man in motion here for the Bearcats. Look to run to the outside here on the keeper, and that is going to be a touchdown for the Bearcats. Number 4, Sean DeZack keeps it.
Brownsville on their last possession, they were trying to ramp up on that Wildcat formation, and Bentworth, though, cashed in with a score of their own. Sean Dizak, that is their first lead of the game for Bentworth. Actually, their first lead of the game was their first possession. After the first possession,
correct.
Big run from Trent Kavanaugh, so securing this lead yet again.
Point after is almost blocked by the Falcons, but nonetheless, Bentworth is going to take a 7-point lead here, 21-14. Stay tuned for more action here on CUTV.
I came from 5 generations of teachers. Losing my job was the bottom falling out of my world.
Welcome back here to Republic, PA. 21-14, Bentworth has taken the lead, 4:16 left in the third quarter of action here. Colin Kirkwood alongside Danny Beck with you on this first CUTV high school football game of the week. Brownsville's going to receive this one to make up the near sideline, brought down at the 30-yard line. Good return here for the Falcons, who need to get things moving on offense after stifling out.
Huge run back there from Austin Linkoski, the catalyst for this Brownsville team that really got them into this contest to give them a 14-7 lead earlier on in this game. But now he needs to be the catalyst on offense and help their team score. As coming back into the game is Hunter Acid, so we're going to see a little bit more of a normal look. We're not going to see the Wildcat look, although Lucas Harn is still in the game.
Still in the game. Here's first down for the Falcons. Man in motion. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to Hard, and he's going to get a couple of yards here. I'd say maybe 4.
And this offensive line for Brownsville looking a little bit tired. They're not moving as spry as they were before. Harn trying to push it out to the right side of the field. Picked up about a gain of 4, and before you could have seen that play broke out for a 16-yard gain, although now it looks like Bentworth has caught on to this run game.
Sometimes you'll have that happen with larger people. Sometimes, conditioning might not be top suit for some offensive linemen, but nonetheless, we got a man in motion here, 2nd and 7. Pitch off to the near side here. It's Harn, and he's going to look to bounce off a couple of guys, stay on his feet, and he's got a first down here. Late hit thrown, and a lot of people are upset about that one, rightfully so. Dishing out that late hit for Bentworth was number 75, Mason Shimasic.
You got to be smarter than that, especially when they were probably out past the white line, out of bounds even, so I figure about 2 or 3 yards. Just got to be smarter than that and have a level head out there on the field. Know where you are so you don't do a play like that because of the fact that Lucas Harn picked up the first down and now they're getting even more gifted yards.
Bentworth's going to take the trot back towards their goal line here. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. 22 left to go in this 3rd quarter here. Bentworth holding this 7-point lead. Under center. It's going to be a handoff to Harn once again. He's going to be drugged down by a host of Bearcats for a couple of yards. Looks to be 3 yards they're going to spot him for, 2nd and 7.
Keep this run game going and this drive, this possession going, now with under 3 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter.
.250 left here. As Assad is going to take a long look down here. He'll receive the snap, hand it off to Harn, and he is going to be brought down, but a flag is going to be thrown.
A few players slow to get up for both sides. But as you mentioned, Colin, there is a flag in here.
It's going to be a hold on the Falcons. A lot of back and forth moving here on this drive for both teams. Penalty tango in this 3rd quarter.
They really are. Their progress is going up the field and then bring it on back. So both these teams got to find out what they're doing wrong and fix that before it becomes a problem later on in the season.
Working things out nonetheless. Still an entertaining game. Mark it 2nd and 15 from the Bentworth 38. Throwing it down the field is Assad, and it looks like it's going to be caught. No, they're going to call it out of bounds.
Wow, what a play right there. It looked like Philip Pace just tried to get his toe in.
That was a close one, Danny.
And it looks like Bentworth is kind of not really arguing with the refs, but kind of questioning where he got his foot in. That ref's still standing in that exact spot.
Quite a play there, launching it down the sideline to no avail. I like the effort nonetheless. 3rd and 15 for the Falcons. Assad takes this one, he drops back, looks to the left side to throw, shakes that off, and he's going to launch one, and it's incomplete. Incomplete off a couple of bounces off some Bearcat hands, almost pulled in on the tip drill, but nonetheless, that one's going to find the ground.
And Philip Pace is the target for all of these throws for Brownsville right now. Now with under 2 minutes left, they have to draw something up, as now they find themselves on the losing end of a 21-14 score.
Pace is quite a target to throw to, 6'4". so he can definitely make his way up into the air. Brownsville's going to punt this one. The punt is away. It's a wobbling kick. It's going to take a roll. Will it get into the end zone? It's going to sit right on the 2-yard line. That's a good way to bounce back into the Brownsville special teams unit after they had one sail over the punter's head.
Great way to get back and really push Bentworth back against their own goal line, kind of their backs against the wall. They need to get back into this contest. So this is a great way to start this defensive possession, if you will, for the Falcons.
This game's been played in a lot of odd commodities here on the field, as we've seen a lot of goal line situations so far in the second half. Teams being pressed towards the end in the shadow of their own goal post. Sean Dzak here has a man in motion running far side. It's going to be a handoff to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh up the middle, making a couple guys miss. Brought down, and that's one way to get yourself out of trouble. That's going to be a first down for the Bearcats.
Create some space for themselves, and Kavanaugh is eerily reminiscent of Lucas Harn for Brownsville. They're going back and forth. Both players have that X-factor potential out of the backfield.
1:35 left in the third quarter of action here. We shall see what Bentworth brings to the line here. Dzak, man in motion once again, fakes the handoff, and it's going to go to the far side. Running around, takes a tackler, bounces off, and that's Austin Pastilli on the jet sweep-esque move.
And Austin Pastilli was one of those wide receiver targets for really the entire first half of this game, and now we see Bentworth utilizing him in the running game as well.
Nonetheless, another first down for these Bearcats. 55 and running here in the third quarter. Dzak, man in motion once again towards the near side, faking the handoff once again. It's Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh exploding up the middle, taking down another first down for these Bearcats. They are moving the football on the ground.
And they're just pushing the ball right up the middle of the field. On that one, you saw Kavanaugh reverse himself just a little bit. That shifty play out of the backfield and picking up another first down, move then chains.
Chewing the clock here a little bit early. 31 seconds left. Another 1st and 10 for the Bearcats, and they appear to be in no rush as they want to chew as much clock as they can here heading into the fourth quarter. Man in motion towards the near side. He's going to get the handoff. Running towards the outside, making one man miss. Getting wrapped up, staying on his feet still, heading backwards. And finally hitting the deck is number 22, Owen Petresic.
You definitely don't want to do that, especially when you're getting your leg all twisted up. Just go down to the ground, prevent some further injury.
And that's going to be the end of the third quarter here with Bentworth holding the 21-14 lead. Stay tuned for the last quarter of action here on CUTV.
High school football is back on CUTV. Brownsville versus Bentworth. Upper Dauphin versus Millersburg. Charleroi versus Fraser. California versus Washington. Bell Vernon versus Greensburg-Salem. Elizabeth Ford versus North Catholic. Carmichaels versus Union. Ringgold versus West Mifflin. Beth Center versus Fraser. Catch all the action on your home for high school football. CUTV, California University Television.
Back for some fourth quarter action here on the first edition of CUTV's high school football game of the week between the Bentworth Bearcats and the Brownsville Falcons. I'm Colin Kirkwood, and joining me is Danny Beck. Danny, a great night here all around. You've enjoyed so far. Had some yummy food. Some
Good
great
football.
Great football.
Great football on the field.
At least I think it is. And I think we're going to get an offsides here on Bentworth. Looks like I'm going to be correct here. Actually, no, I take that back. It's going to be a false start on the Bearcats.
Something also that we learned in the break, Colin, that the Brownsville Falcons, they have some other sports teams that are doing just as well, as their baseball team won the WPIAL finals this past spring. So they're doing things on the gridiron as well as on the baseball diamond.
Gridiron on the diamond. Falcons are getting it done. And there's going to be a lost snap there. So it's going to go right between the legs of Dezak, and he's just going to fall on that one. It's going to bring up a third down here. And 20. So quite a few yards here for these Bearcats to work with. One would think perhaps maybe they'll consider to run the ball here and keep the clock moving. Bearcats come to the line. 4 wide here. I could be wrong. They could throw it. Let's find out. They are going to throw it. Went for a screen look up the middle of the field, and that'll be good for 10, but unfortunately, it's not 3rd and 10. It is 3rd and 20. So that will be 4th and 10 for the Bearcats.
Should be an obvious punting situation right here. I believe it will be.
I do believe it will be a punt as well, as we have some personnel changes going on in the field here. As we catch number 44, Skylar Miller, making his way onto the field. It will be a punt, as this one is up end over end. It's a short punt. It's going to take a high bounce. Nobody was sure where that one was going to end up, as that sure fooled Austin Pistilli, as he could not find that one.
The last second Brownsville fielded it, and it looked like it was right. Austin Pistilli, you mentioned, was kind of just searching for it, but he was searching for it on the ground, not the air. So really wasn't aware of where the ball was.
He comes off and says, just couldn't find it. First down for the Falcons here on their own 35. Scratch that, close to the 45. .25 left in this 4th quarter of action. It's going to be a handoff from Assad, and it's going to be Harn who's going to take this one, and he's going to be lucky if he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Kind of pushed forward with his back on that one. Almost was tripping and then fell back, but picked up. I think they're going to mark it a gain of 1 on the play, so that's going to bring up a 2nd and 9.
He does get 1 yard indeed, as Danny points out. 2nd and 9. From the 43. In their own territory is Brownsville here. I formation, but we've got a man in motion. It's going to be a toss play here towards the near side of the field, and chopped down is Harn. Perhaps maybe a 1 yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 8. So yes, a 1 yard gain indeed.
Great tackle there from Trevor Kavanaugh, just stepping up and laying the hit stick on the opposing running back, Lucas Harn.
Here we go. 9:12 left in the contest. Brownsville chatting it up in the huddle. Getting the game plan out and ready. We're going to have 2 to the near side here in an I form. Assad looks to throw. He's going to scramble. Not quite sure what to do with it. He might get rid of this one and somehow manages to make a grab here. I believe that's going to be inbounds, and it's going to be called incomplete. Not quite sure about that one, Danny.
Yeah, that one, there was a few Bentworth players right in front of us.
Perhaps maybe it bounced off the ground into that receiver's hands. That's what I would think.
I agree with you there. So very adamant, obviously, from the Bentworth sidelines that they were, you know, trying to coerce the officials that, you know, that ball was incomplete. So
it's going to be a punt here for the Falcons. This one is up and a little bit of line drive. Caught on the fly here. Ooh, rough tackle there. Brought down with that one is Owen Petresic. Took a bit of a lick there, Danny.
Definitely did. And, you know, I believe Vendell Page came up with that hit. Excuse me, Javon Dove came with a big hit and almost stepped over him. Little Allen Iverson-esque.
.840 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Colin Kirkwood alongside of me, Danny Beck. First of many here in 2018. Not the first of many first downs for Bentworth. And this one's fired right across the field, almost donks the referee. Up the middle of the field and still spinning around. Finally brought down is number 22, Petresic.
Yeah, Owen Petresic has been all over the field tonight for the Bearcats, staying on his feet, acrobatic move, and just moving those chains yet again for the Bearcats. And the Bearcats they're starting to get some momentum, it seems like, on offense. They're starting to run the ball with some force and some purpose down the field. And they're up in this contest by 7. So they're really just trying to keep this up and keep working down the field.
Classic single A football here. Really pound the football on the ground and try to catch your defense napping on play action. Here is a run play here, keeping it up the middle. Moving is Zach. Makes a couple man miss and then finally goes down, but that'll be another first down for the Bearcats.
Like I mentioned, that running with a purpose. Zach just found the hole. Notice that he had that right side wide open and just exploited it. And now Brownsville, they look gassed. Colin, I don't know if you're seeing that. One linebacker and also a lineman, both with their hands on their knees. They have no answer to this potent offense in this running game from Bentworth.
Well, it can be so deflating to not even get near a third down when you're on the defensive side of the ball and to have to keep moving backwards and whatnot. So we'll see what they can cook up here in a defensive scheme. 1st and 10. Zach's going to throw this one. It's going to be tipped and knocked down harmlessly to the grass.
Petresic, another target on that one. Could not haul that one in. He's looking equally as frustrated as Brownsville's defense. Couldn't haul that ball into his hands.
7:44 remaining in this contest. Talking over in the huddle is Bentworth. Now they'll step to the line. 2nd and 10. After the incompletion. Here's Zach. He's going to keep this one. He's going to dump this off on a screen look to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh up the sideline, moving his way towards the end zone. Will he be brought down? And should be a horse collar tackle, and I do believe that one was registered as we had another great look courtesy of Dylan Cadet on the sideline camera. Keep up the good work down there, Dilly.
And Trevor Kavanaugh coming up limping on that one. Now he's falling to the ground.
That'll probably be most likely another bit of a cramping situation, but we don't like to speculate.
Another horse collar, though, too.
Oh, big-time horse collar there. Had a fistful of jersey brought down with force.
Called down right in front of the referee. It's not, I wouldn't advise, doing a horse collar tackle anywhere, but definitely don't do it right in front of an official.
Oh, exactly. Everyone's going to take a knee here as we hope he makes his way up. (21-14) our score, 7:36 left to go here, and I do believe this is going to be reduced to a 1st and goal for this Bentworth offense when they return to the field. Getting things underway in 2018. And we're working with a great crew here so far. Returners such as myself and Danny. Tom Caton on camera doing a good job as always. Stephen Ruffing getting into the directing game, doing a fine job. And if you're watching this with interest in joining CUTV, this upcoming Tuesday, the 26th, if you're on campus, you can stop by our media open house, Danny.
And there's going to be Chick-fil-A there, Colin. So if that's not a draw,
rumored.
I don't know what else.
I don't know if we can confirm that yet, but there could be Chick-fil-A. So we don't want to tip our hand, but if you like Chick-fil-A and student media, Tuesday night, 4 to 6 p.m., come visit us. We're always looking for eager members to join our staff here on CUTV, join Danny and I as Cal Times writing staff as well, and even the radio too. Handoff by Zach here. He's going to keep this one, and he's going to stretch for the end zone, and that'll be a touchdown for the Bearcats.
Great move up the middle. Yet again, that junior running back, or that junior quarterback, excuse me, just having that awareness and just knowing where he is out there on the field, finding those holes, and gets back on the board. That's 2 consecutive scores by this junior running or quarterback.
Going to line up here for the extra point. Good effort by Zach there to stretch out for that one. Just had a little bit of a mini freak out there. Large bug almost flew into the window. Pay no attention to that as we get ready for this extra point here. And Brownsville's going to knock this one down, but I do believe Bentworth will cover that one up, and that one will be unsuccessful. So the final score, well, not the final score, but for right now, it'll be 27-14. Stay tuned for the final 7:29 left in the fourth quarter, right here on CUTV.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Welcome back here to the first CUTV high school football game of the week. Bentworth has increased their lead here, 27-14, after Brownsville blocked the last extra point attempt. It's going to be a short kick here by Bentworth, and it's going to be fielded at the 40 for Brownsville. Making their way close to the 45, we'll call it Brownsville's own 43.
Little pooch kick right there from Bentworth. Interesting play call.
Most party fouls
They're kind
are
of gifting them field position.
But if you
Definitely
decide
would
to
not,
maybe trying to catch them off guard.
you could lose your license
definitely would not
and your freedom.
expect that,
Underage
especially when you
drinking
have a
and driving.
13-point lead.
The
But
ultimate party foul.
Bentworth just trying to stay in the lead with 7 minutes and 25 seconds left to go here in this contest.
Now, Danny, Brownsville is going to have to work with a little bit of urgency here in the remaining moments of this fourth quarter.
And they haven't scored since the first drive of the second quarter. So they really need to do something different, switch it up. There's a timeout signaled on the field.
Timeout signal here, as Danny indicates. And Danny and I are, at least I know I'm excited for our next CUTV high school football game of the week. It's going to be something special.
It definitely is, and it's, I believe, the first time we're going to be seeing a game out of the WPIAL.
Yeah, first time ever.
For CUTV.
First time ever we'll be doing a non-WPIAL game. Very, very exciting. I'm very glad to be able to give players on both teams the opportunity for something like this that really isn't all that common at home. I know it is for you, or it used to be at Central Dauphin, but not quite as common.
we'd have a lot of in-house stuff. We would, keep the clips for, classes and different things that we could utilize in the high school, but never something like this where we have a TV crew come out, especially for Central Dauphin, a big class of 6A. We don't really have anything like this at that level.
Don't have anything like that. But it's going to be Assad. Assad's going to sling this one down the field and almost intercepted, but it's going to fall to the ground. Good play there. I'm mistaken. He did, in fact, pull that one down. I could have sworn that it made its way to the ground.
It looked like he got his hand underneath it, kind of popped it up to himself. Wild play there for Bentworth.
I could have sworn it made its way to the ground. Mistaken am I. Sorry. How many amazing plays have we seen here today?
It seems like plays on the defensive side. We saw that Lucas Harn earlier on, but what a play there for Bentworth.
Amazing stuff. Back on offense, here's Bentworth. Zach's going to hand this one off to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh's going to work towards the near side of the field, brought down by a host of Falcons.
That's going to be a face mask on the play. Kavanaugh's head kind of jerked back as he was pushing to the left side of the field.
Bird's eye view here from my partner, Danny Beckett. The Falcons field here. Face mask indeed on the Falcons. And they'll trot backwards as they have done so many times here today. But I feel as if we continue to talk about it time and time again, we're used to seeing that here in an early matchup like this, as everyone is still getting themselves adjusted. Handed off to Kavanaugh. He's going to cut his way towards the outside. Still bouncing off a couple tacklers, grinding that clock. Bentworth doing everything right.
It's actually Owen Petrasek on that one. And, his speed is just lightning quick out there.
He was so fast I couldn't even see his number.
For the Bearcats, he just puts his head down and goes in and out of tackles, picking up another big gain for the Bearcats.
Second and 4 here, 6:20 remaining in the ball game. Bentworth hosting this 13-point lead here on the road in this storied matchup. Zach's going to take this one, and he's going to keep it, and he's going to fake towards the outside with this one, and he'll get a first down, but a flag's going to be thrown as a host of Falcons bring him down. We'll see what this flag results in. But they also believe we may have an injury timeout. We do. We have a downed Bearcat on the far side of the field.
And a great display of sportsmanship from this both teams here tonight. It seems like nobody really wants to get injured ever, especially in the first game of this season, if you will, week 0 matchup. And they're being very slow with diagnosing what is wrong out there on the field, the injured player. But yeah, Colin, great football here this first, I guess, can't really say first week. Yeah, first week 0.
Entertaining matchup. Only a 13-point game. I mean, we had a blocked extra point. You don't see that every day.
Exactly. And a one-handed Odell Beckham interception. You
Crazy.
Never see that.
Crazy. You never see that at all. Still pretty wild.
Most definitely is wild. He is coming off the field under his own power, so that's great to see. They're being very cautious with making sure that he can come back out onto the field, though, so good to see him coming off under his own power.
Getting the help of his teammates here. not moving much in that left leg area. Hope all is well. Nonetheless, we'll get back underway with 6:01. Make it 6 left on the clock here. 2nd and 13 for the Bearcats. Zach, shovel pass out to the side here, working up the field, making some guys miss. This time it's Kavanaugh, and he's still moving, still going, makes a couple of guys miss, finally pulled down here by Brownsville.
Huge run there from Trevor Kavanaugh as he just stayed on his feet, and that was very close to the run that we saw him at McGuffey, actually at Elizabeth Ford with McGuffey.
Kavanaugh weebles and wobbles, but he doesn't fall down.
Exactly that, Colin, and standing on his feet, pushing one guy down in the process.
.5:10 left here as Bentworth continues to chew clock. Hand it off to Kavanaugh once again up the middle. He'll scamper for a couple of yards, make it about 3 or 4.
Pushing forward yet again, really just trying to milk this clock down, ice this game out.
It appears it's going to be marked as a 2nd and 8 here for these Bearcats. 4:30 left, doing everything right, exactly how you should be playing with the lead in this kind of a ball game. Hand off to Kavanaugh, and he's going to be stuffed at the line and pushed back. Stuffed on that one.
Normally when the whistle is blown, Colin, you really told to stop, and on that one, Brownsville just kept going and pushing him down.
It looks like he's going to get a much needed substitution. I believe there was a timeout called on the field. 3:50 left in this ball game as you're seeing a nice shot of our many friends that we have here in the press box today. If you've heard me jump a little bit at any point, it's probably because you saw one of these or heard me react to one of them fall in front of my face. Very close to me, as you can see here, standing right here. We had one come right down in front of me. Freaked me out a little bit, not going to lie about it. But still, quite a web, quite a home here for this little guy. We don't want to disturb him.
Colin, that is a big guy.
That is a big guy.
Not a little guy.
Big guy. Stay tuned. Perhaps you might get to see the first episode of California Wildlife with yours truly.
Yeah, California Spider-Man. That's what you're going to turn into. Keep talking like that.
Sure wish I had superpowers. Can't say I do, though. Super running by Bentworth, though, and it's going to get back in action here with 3:50 left to go. Dumped over to the side, and it's going to be a couple tacklers missed here. Finally brought down as Petresic.
It's a play there. Junior quarterback yet again finding his open receivers and coming up with another big first down. And Bentworth now, I mentioned before, they're running with a purpose. Now they're playing with a purpose. They're in the lead and they're still going. That's a sign of a team that really wants this. And Brownsville, I wouldn't say they're rolling over, but they're not showing the same effort as they were earlier on in this game.
3:39 left. Another timeout's going to be taken. Brownsville wants to get the football back as they need to work with urgency if they want to be able to tie this game up, or perhaps even win. Who knows? We never like to rule anything out here.
This momentum swing is in favor of Bentworth right now, but as easily as it could be obtained, it can be given away, as we saw on a big interception from Brownsville after a great drive from Bentworth earlier on in this game. But it's just a game of really momentum, and it's a game of swings. And right now, Bentworth has the upper hand in that department.
There you see our social media pages, all the great things that we do. Anthony, if you're watching, I hate to inform you, but we have a new Facebook guy. Sorry we had to replace you. No hard feelings. CUTVPA Twitter, good stuff there. Lots of gifts in store this year. This one's going to be handed off to the inside, and that's Kavanaugh back to work once again. And I do believe Brownsville's going to take their final timeout, as they will. 3:32 left to go. Another entertaining ball game. There's our good friend Dylan G'day down there. Hey everybody, great Friday night. Glad that we can be a part of it. Hope you're enjoying this picturesque evening here. Lots of fans here enjoying the game. I know we're enjoying the game. Dylan, not if you're enjoying the game. He waved.
He got a wave.
All right. So I'd say he's enjoying it too. Lots of new roles for us to embrace here. Look for some fantastic footage to be used on High School Roundup in the near future from that great camera down there.
Most definitely is. And the shots that he's getting tonight, whether it's the pylon shot when Trent Kavanaugh was running over to the left side of the field right in front of him, or if it's also the coin toss in the beginning of the game, and he was getting some great shots out there, and thanks to CUTV for getting us the funding to allow for that to happen.
Very excited about it, and it's worked out so far. Can't wait for that for some California Vulcans games as well. So this one's handed off to the outside, slashing and dicing, but finally falls to the ground is Petrusek.
Yeah, Petrusek on that one just lost his footing just a little bit, kind of trying to reverse field a little, maybe even do a little bit of a turn, and just lost his footing and went right down to the ground. No harm done, though.
Of course, this will be the last high school football game for a little, as we'll be on the road next week for the California Vulcans season opener on the road against number 23 Ohio Dominican in Columbus, Ohio. California on the outside looking in for the top 25 polls, currently sitting at 26 with 89 votes. We'll see what happens. Dumped off on a little screenplay to Kavanaugh, and he's going to bulldoze his way into the end zone, and one would think that that's going to do it here and seal it for Bentworth.
You have to assume that, Colin, especially when Bentworth has had their foot on the pedal this entire second half of the game. Coming into this second half down 14-7, they turned it on. And you know, Bentworth, a smaller team, we were kind of knocking their size earlier on in this game, and also the size of Brownsville, but really that paid off in the favor of Bentworth, allowing them to get to the outside and even push the runs up the middle.
We'll see what happens on this extra point, and it's almost blocked, but nonetheless, it's converted. Score now stands at 33-14, 34-14 in favor of Bentworth. And we will take our last commercial break here. Stick around for the rest of the action here on CUTV.
High school football is back on CUTV. Brownsville versus Bentworth. Upper Dauphin versus Millersburg. Charleroi versus Fraser. California versus Washington. Belle Vernon versus Greensburg-Salem. Elizabeth Ford versus North Catholic. Carmichaels versus Union. Ringgold versus West Mifflin. Beth Center versus Fraser. Catch all the action on your home for high school football. CUTV, California University Television.
Welcome back here as that kickoff sent away and knocked around, but still pulled in by the Falcons, moving towards the near side of the field. A lot of room to run with. Perhaps might have a place to break it. Brought down right around midfield. Spiked in anger there. That was number 20 for the Falcons. Javon Dove.
A great run out there to about the 46-yard line. You have to be thinking that Brownsville, if they can convert now, onside kick, something like that, get back in this game quick. But they do find themselves down by 20. So they have to draw something up. Big plays only here, and it looks like they're going to sub in some new numbers in there and new faces out there on the field.
Back in the I form are the Falcons. Assad's going to hand this one off, and the ball pops loose, but the Falcons recover. Good move to fall on that one. And we're going to have some jawing here between these two teams. But falling on that one was number 40, Rocco Frisco.
Yeah, heads up play there by the fullback. Knowing that the ball popped out, he heard his own team yelling ball, so he just jumped on top of it and secured it for his offense.
Secured the ball. Under 2 minutes left to go here. Minute 55 to be exact. 2nd and 2 for the Falcons. They are in Bentworth territory. Assad's going to misjudge the pitch here. He's going to reel it in, and he's going to take a licking as he throws that one out of bounds. Pops back up quickly, however, and is ready for the next go.
A good hit on there for the defense. That right side of the line burst right through and exploited the line from Brownsville. And it seems like tonight, as much as in the second half, that's exactly what Bentworth has been doing, just exploiting these holes on the offensive line of Brownsville and really putting the pressure on the freshman quarterback.
3rd and 2 for the Falcons here. Man in motion, moving near to far. It's going to be a pitch, cutting back inside, and that will be a first down, perhaps a little bit more. Almost coughs up the football again. Comes up limping there. That's number 25, Timothy Benash. Danny, one has to think only a little too late here as they finally found their rhythm in moving the football.
Exactly, and it seems like runs from that same player out there on the field, so they're just trying to put that pressure on. A very weird, I was just going to say, as the player comes up a little bit more, very weird formation here.
Toss again to the far side. Met at the line and dropped quickly. That's a new runner for the Falcons, being number 28, Eric Allen.
As I mentioned, a lot of new faces coming out there on the field. Just trying to get them some playing time as it is week 0.
43 seconds and running here. 2nd and 9 for the Falcons. Moving deeper and deeper into Bentworth territory, perhaps looking to add a score before this one is all said and done. Assad talks it over with his fullback. And it's going to be a handoff here. Met just a little bit past the line of scrimmage here. That should theoretically be the last play of the game here. 12 seconds left. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is your ball game. Bentworth will come away with the week 0 victory by a final score of 34-14.
And Colin, this game from Bentworth, they find themselves down after that first play or that first possession of the game before Brownsville kind of answered right back to Bentworth. And then Brownsville just kind of stifled a little bit, and Bentworth put the heat on. And this run game for Bentworth, I think, is what paid off to be the camel, the feather that broke the camel's back, rather. You know, that was the play that, you know, Kavanaugh was pushing right up the middle of the field, finding the holes on the offensive line and just exploiting them, getting into the end zone. Great game by both of these teams, though, you know, shaking off the cobwebs of that summer break. But, you know, this Brownsville team has some upside. Great line that was coming back, and this freshman quarterback that has a lot of room to grow.
That's right. Our next broadcast will be California Vulcans football next Thursday. You aren't going to want to miss that. Great matchup in store. But for all and now, that will be all. Thanks to Danny for joining me here tonight. Thanks to our crew. Thanks to our director, Gary Smith. And we will be back next Thursday, 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening.